aboard the animation station, taking a journey through the Pixar cinematic universe. Our next stop is Pixar's eighth feature film, Ratatouille, from 2007. Now, here's the guy who loves to listen to the snap, crackle, pop symphony of a warm French baguette on a Sunday evening, the Brazilian dragon himself, Felipe Shimon, and I am not alone. As always, I am joined by the guy who would absolutely never go skin to skin with a street rodent, the culinary AJ Norris. AJ, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday afternoon?
How you doing? Swell, Felipe. I'm super excited to talk with you, about this movie. I do want to say up front before we get started, I would like to first personally apologize to Navi for everything I'm about to say over the next 2 hours.
Yes, Navi is a big fan of Z Ratatouille. She has given it a 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Go follow her, cause I'm Navi on Letterboxd, and she has been on record stating this is her favorite cinematic achievement of the Pixar universe. I am not on that same boat. I do greatly enjoy this movie. I saw it in theaters, and I stand by my take that Finding Nemo is still the best that we've encountered thus far. We will not spoil where I have Ratatouille on my ratings, but apology to Navi in advance for any disrespect that AJ or I give to your favorite Pixar film. Um, yes.
I would like to say it's out of all, like, here's the thing. It's all out of love, but I have to be true to myself. And this is subjective. I can sometimes be proven wrong.
What did Stevie Wonder once say in the Mulan credit song? You must be true to your heart. You must be true to your heart. And AJ will be very true to his heart with his takes on Z Ratatouille. Have you ever had Ratatouille?
No,
No?
no,
Um,
and no desire to.
I am curious to have it if it is done in the confit Bialdi version that they did for this movie. I'm
Mm.
curious to try it, but I feel like it's probably just like a vegetable, like in
Basically
glaze,
is.
right? So I feel
Yes.
like it's probably fine, but like I've never been a guy to go hard for vegetables.
I'm
Are
gonna be
you?
honest with you. I don't even think that would be a proper meal. Like that's like a side. But you
Well,
also know big boy.
the thing about French restaurants, stereotypically, sorry to fall into stereotypes, but like French dishes don't serve you a ton of food. Like I feel like French serving sizes are very small, right? So it's like these overpriced meals at these five-star restaurants in France or French style cuisine, they like give you like a little tiny portion. There's a restaurant called Zinc in the Century City Mall in
Mm,
Los Angeles that my mom and I went to, and I remember I was like, this is so small for this price. And my mom was like, that's French cuisine for you. And like I have spent time in Paris. Granted, I was a child, so I don't really remember much. I haven't been
mhm.
to Paris since I was like 6, I want to say. So I don't remember much other than like being a kid with my mom in Paris, but I want to go back as an adult. I feel like Paris is definitely a top tier like European city that I want to visit. Especially like as an adult. And I love bakeries and coffee and
Mhm.
bread. So I feel like and cheese. So I feel like I would thrive in those areas. Like I feel like the French style for me is like very snack based versus like meal based, if that makes sense.
I hear what you're saying. I did at some point in this movie write down. This is just France propaganda, and I will not stand for it.
Oh,
Um,
see, I will stand for it.
because I listen. And I think this has been a long time running joke I've had with me and some of my friends for years at this point, where like France is my ops.
France is your ops.
I
Elaborate.
like the everything about France is like um overhyped, overrated, and I'm not okay with people pretending good when it's like mediocre.
Including this movie.
Also, like they have some bad opinions about certain groups of people.
Oh, well, yes. Well, yes. That part I will not try to combat you with. I do think that France has a lot of culture and beauty that I do appreciate. I feel like um, that the aesthetic of Paris is so beautiful, and we get like some gorgeous shots in this film of the Eiffel
Mm,
Tower at night. But I also do think that like Paris is not like the top destination for me if I were to go to a
mm,
European vacation, but I would definitely want to stop in Paris along my European adventures. I think also the aspect of Europe that is so appealing to me as
mm.
an individual is that like so much of it is accessible by train, so you could go to multiple cities in one trip theoretically.
See, here's my thing, right? And I also said, if I may go for a 1 day thing if I'm ever in Europe, but I would not go specifically for France. With that being said, that's also a reason why because it's so interconnected. It's like, just say you do it. But then I went to New York and I rode the New York train. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, please don't put these like platitudes out there because what if we are booked on an international film festival lineup at Cannes
Mm.
and a live taping in Paris of Ratatouille in a number of years when this podcast becomes super mega successful and everyone wants us to go on a world tour?
I believe my personal opinion should not stop us from having success. If so, that's still
Valid.
being petty.
AJ, should we reply for The Amazing Race?
It'll be fun. It'll be
And
fun.
imagine they like listen to our podcast and they're like, okay, so let's go to some bumfuck town in Route 66 for Radiator Springs. We'll go to Paris and like just like dog all these cities that we've talked shit about on the podcast. Like, imagine the Amazing Race, but it's just like, okay, so there's a episode in Sydney, Australia. There's an
Ooh,
episode in like on Route 66 in the States for the final episode. We go to Paris in an episode. We go to space for the next one.
I will love a Pixar series. Amazing Race stops. That'll be so much fun.
Listen, Elise Bertram, call us.
Listen,
Um,
I sometimes answer my phone.
sometimes. Um, had there been any cell phones in any projects we've talked about recently?
Any cell phones? No, not to my knowledge.
No cell phones yet. Have there been? Oh, Helen's on the phone in Incredibles. Harv, is on the phone throughout Cars.
Is that a cell phone though? That's like a
That's like the Cars equivalent of a BlackBerry.
okay, fair
You
enough,
know,
fair enough.
Harv, if he was a human, would be on a BlackBerry at that time.
He will be on a BlackBerry.
Yeah. Remember BlackBerry aesthetic? Like, I feel like the 2000s is when they have the comeback. We need the return of the BlackBerry.
I don't remember the aesthetic, but I don't know if I like it.
Valid. Before we get into Ratatouille, I neglected to give any credit to the voice cast other than Paul Newman for Cars. So, if you'll indulge me for 2 quick seconds, Bonnie Hunt was Sally, Larry the Cable Guy was Mater, Owen Wilson was Lightning McQueen, and Paul Newman was Doc Hudson, with Michael Keaton as Chick Hicks, and a amazing cast. We talked about Jennifer Lewis and Cheech Marin, but like those are just like the key figures of the Cars franchise. I recently watched a Cars sketch for SNL that they did with
Ooh,
Owen Wilson, I believe in 2021. If I had to guess, he was probably promoting Loki. But Owen Wilson
that
and
makes
Larry the
sense.
Cable Guy were in a sketch called Cars 4, where they're doing the dialogue, and Mikey Day is like the audio engineer, and they're like, okay, we're going to record. And it's like Lightning McQueen and Mater are being kind of pervy. And Lightning McQueen says
He
calls
was pretty
Mater
in
an
person.
ableist slur. And I'll send you this sketch on SNL, but yeah, they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Lightning McQueen would never do this. And it's like, Lightning McQueen was kind of a dickhead at the start of Cars, so
Like I don't know if y'all watch Cars
yeah,
recently. I have.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so I'll send you the sketch and I sent it to my brother. But the Cars episode is out, so we
Woo.
are recording this about a week before Ratatouille drops. What is your origins of the Ratatouille cinematic universe?
Like I think I told you in the fest, I own the movie, Ratatouille. I've watched it several times. I fell asleep almost every time. Um,
Because you didn't like the first 20 minutes, right? I will say the first 20 minutes were a little bit slower, and the movie picks up really when we get to Gusteau's.
so it makes sense why I fell asleep as a child.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think I had fonder memories of Ratatouille, just that it was like a very slow paced movie.
If I had a nickel for every podcast AJ did about a grandma with a gun, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a whole lot, but it's weird that it happens twice. He's
It is
racking his
weird.
brain. Do you know who I'm talking about?
A grandma with a gun?
Yeah.
Monster Inc.
No, no, no. I'm talking about
No,
Maybelline Simmons.
Maybelline. Who's Maybelline?
Medea.
You know what? You know what? Why are you pulling out the government name? I feel like I would know the government.
Because I don't know. I was like, this grandma, I don't know. She has the vibe. Like, let me call her Maybelline. I was like, wait. Simmons,
Is his
Medea,
name Maybelline? I thought it was Mabel.
Mabel. Medea's name?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe it is just Mabel. But
maybe it's Maybelline.
I feel like I've seen this movie once, and I saw it in theaters before this week. I've
Okay, it's
seen like
Mabel
clips of
Arlene.
it. I've seen clips of it for sure. And then also, I feel like Ratatouille is like younger Gen Z's like whole identity. Like I feel like the way I talk about Finding Nemo, you talk about Finding
Mhm,
Nemo in Cars, I talk about Toy Story. I feel like for whatever reason, like people who are like 21, like
mhm.
this is their culture. Like Ratatouille is the best film ever made for so many of my younger friends. I don't think my brother falls in this crowd. I don't assume that Drew Campbell from Big Brother 28 would fall into this crowd, but I feel like a lot of my like 21 to 23-year-old friends like live, breathe, die by Remy the Rat and Ratatouille to the extent that they had a TikTok musical in the pandemic. Do you remember this?
No.
This is the first you're hearing of TikTok?
Yes.
You don't know about the Ratatouille TikTok musical?
No.
And you're a musical theater guy.
No, I'm not.
Weren't you listening to Epic the musical, the soundtrack?
Yeah, but that was a anomaly.
Okay.
Anomaly.
I feel like, and then didn't we talk about Hadestown recently also? Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
but that's also like one of the biggest. Like
okay. You're
that's
like
like
a
saying, oh,
casual, you
because I
like
know
the,
Hamilton and Hadestown, I'm not a musical guy.
yeah. Okay. Well, so in 2020, 2021, there was like the Artists Fund for like Broadway, when the world shut down theater productions. They crowdsourced the Ratatouille TikTok the musical,
Mm.
with like Titus Burgess as Remy the Rat, Andrew Barth Feldman from High School Musical, the musical series, and No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings or Nobody Wants No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. He was Linguini. You're looking this up now, right?
Yes.
We got Wayne Brady as Gusteau, I think. No, he was Django. Pause. Did you know that Remy's dad is Django?
Is
Named Django.
Django?
His name is Django.
No. Oh, Django.
Django. Yeah.
Oh, no. Did not know
I did
this.
not know that until I was looking at the notes for the movie, and I was like, wait, hold up, what? They
When I
never
tell
said
you, every time I wrote his name down, I was like, the dad.
the dad.
The dad.
Um, yeah, they had multiple songs that they wrote for this musical. They got Andre de Shields, also from Hadestown, I believe. He was Anton Ego. Ashley Park was Colette. Um, Priscilla Lopez is Mabel. I'm gonna look up who Mabel is. Mabel
This is a
Ratatouille.
wildly stat cast.
Yeah. Mabel
Like,
is the grandma. Okay. She is also named Mabel.
this is an insane cast. This is,
Yeah. And I was actually listening to the music beforehand, and I was like, they like did a whole production on it was like directed by the guy who directs Six, the musical. So
mm,
yeah, I was like, that's crazy that like this is the first you're hearing of it, especially because you're chronically online on TikTok more so than I am. I feel like we are on different apps or pockets of the internet, and
mm.
I feel like you watch more TikTok than I do. And I watched a little bit of TikTok, but
Probably because that's like basically the only social media I do consume.
valid. Hey, don't disrespect your Twitch channel like that.
One of these days, I'll bring it back to life.
But yeah, there's a chokehold that Ratatouille has on younger Gen Z, and I would love to discuss that with any younger Gen Z listeners who are like 20 to 23, where they stand. I know my friend Karina is obsessed with this film, says it's the best movie ever made, and I was like, that cannot be true because that belongs to Finding Nemo. But um, also, so this was probably like my second time actually watching it through, but I have a soft spot for Emile the Rat. Do you know who Emile is?
His character or the person who plays
His
him?
character.
Yes, the rat, the brother.
Yes, actually, the voice actor is big time modern day Pixar director Peter Sohn,
Hmm,
who I believe was the director of Elemental. I think he did The Good Dinosaur. He's directing Incredibles 3, I think, but
okay.
he's the like I like how Pixar will also utilize their own animators and team as like in-house voice talent, to
Hmm.
let them play around with like another medium that is not their like specialty, right?
Yes.
But I remember so Allison, myself, Aaron, and Caleb, we were like maybe at Disneyland. This is like a friend group of mine here, and she likes to call Caleb a Q-tip because of his height and his hair. And she's like, "You also look like Alfredo Linguini." Because and then like she's like, "And then Aaron, you're Remy the Rat." And then I was like laughing on the side, and then she's like, "And you're his fat brother." And I was like, "Whoa, what did I do?" But also yes, because I believe I did send a picture of Emil eating cheese, and I'm like, "That's me AF."
His fat brother is wild. That's a
Yeah.
wild thing to say.
Um. So, what's your take on cooking?
I like to cook. I think it is a
Anyone can cook?
anyone, literally anyone can cook. Like
Okay,
honestly, you're nothing special. You're nothing. Like Gordon Ramsay, sit down. You're nothing special.
but you like cooking?
I enjoy cooking. It's like calming. It's cool. It's like I get to like distract myself from the world. Like the only thing that matters is like, okay, am I about to burn my house down? And the answer is no.
Yeah. I feel like I am getting better and better at cooking, like the basics. But I also have a lot of ADHD, so sometimes if it's something that has to like simmer for a while, like we'll go and sit on the couch and then all of a sudden remember, oh my pasta. And like that's the one thing. But like I like the basics and I feel like I would enjoy cooking classes,
Mm.
but I just have a lot of ADHD, so sometimes cooking can
I
be a struggle.
I think pause. I'll frequently be like, whenever I'm cooking, I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. I was like, I'll call my mom. I was like, something didn't work out. She's like, did you do this? Like, damn it. With
Hmm.
that being said, I
Real.
think cooking classes is a fun date idea.
Yeah, it would be fun. I feel like, did you ever have home ec or no?
Yes,
Okay, see, home ec and the baby flower product stuff
never did
in
that.
TV shows, those were always like fantasy to me because I feel like I never took a home ec class. I never did one of those like bring a flower baby home to your parents and live with the baby and make sure that it doesn't break. You know what I'm talking about, like in Danny
See,
Phantom and
pause.
stuff.
Let me tell you something. Maybe this is just my home ec class. It is not what y'all think it is. They was like, this is how you balance a budget. It's like, okay.
Wait, I wish we had that. That's so annoying. Like I feel deprived of my
Like,
home ec
and then it's like,
experience.
this is how you make a pizza from scratch. And I was like, cool. But
Yeah.
we didn't do the baby stuff or the egg stuff, like all that other goofy
My
stuff.
friend
Like,
Kate, former co-host of Scooby Snacks and Chats, she has told this hilarious story of like she was in a home ec class and they were making like a quesadilla and the teacher made her
mm,
put tomatoes in it and she's like, "Well, now I'm not gonna eat that and you ruined food." Um,
no, I'm not gonna eat that.
and lives rent free in her mind. Shout out to Kate if you're listening. Yeah, overall, like, where do you stand with Ratatouille? Like, how did you feel about the movie? Like, overall takes, characters, anything you want to discuss off the jump?
I don't think I got more mad than watching this movie.
Okay. Is this something that would be better to discuss in the actual recap section, or do
we
you?
could we could talk about it during the recap session. And comment, but this is what I'll say. This is where I'll start, and we can delve more deeper if you want to, or consider for the recap. I find Remy wholly unlikable.
Okay, go
Like
on.
I think he's an unlikable protagonist. I think
More so
I
than
understand.
McQueen.
Um, I think they're like both douchebags, but on a different level. Like, okay, pause. I think they're both douchebags. The only difference is, uh, Lightning McQueen is like a sexist douchebag, and Remy's just a douchebag. So, so I
I love.
guess Remy is better than Lightning, but it's not like he's winning by miles.
Mhm. Felipe, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a professional podcaster. What's your podcast about? We just talk about cars and rats and how they're douchebags. No, I feel like there are times in this movie where I did find Remy unlikable. I do think he's a lot more likable than Lightning McQueen. I think he has flaws, but he is also not inherently like an unlikable protagonist off the jump. I think he definitely like has a big ego, pun intended, because that's a character here. But I definitely like Remy more than Lightning. I feel like Lightning from moment one is like, oh, you kind of suck. Versus
Mhm.
like and everything bad that happens to you, you kind of deserve in this film. And your growth arc isn't earned. Versus I feel like I feel like this is better done. I feel like Cars was, in terms of like the arc. And like yes, Remy does have moments of unlikability, especially like and Linguini also. Like there's a moment or two where Linguini's unlikable. Granted, like this whole movie is chaotic to me. Maybe it's because I am a germaphobe, but like you couldn't miss me with this nasty rat being in my
Get
hair.
out of here!
Like
Get
I
out
get
of
it that it's
here!
farce and it's comedy, but it's also like this is nasty. Like if you want to say a dog climbs into my hair and like or a cat and is like playing. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once
Felipe, I watched that 2 nights ago, and when
for the first time?
no, I watched it before then,
Okay,
but I did not remember the Raccoon part.
yeah, I would rather have a raccoon in my head. Raccoon?
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm watching Ratatouille in a couple days.
Yes. Um, but I
But
feel like a rat, you can miss me with that. Like I'd rather have a lot of different, like a bird, a cow, a pig, a dog, a snake. Hey, Gore! Shout out Jennifer Lewis, Mama Odie.
Jennifer Lewis.
But yeah, I like
Like,
that is disgusting. Like rats are nasty. Do you know Nicole Horn's famous rat story?
no,
So you can go listen to this on the Big Brother 7 recaps that myself, Nicole, and Jacob did back in 2020, concurrent with Big Brother All Stars 2.
that's why I didn't listen to it. I didn't watch All Stars at that point.
Oh, okay. Now you
I've
can go
watched it
back. You
now.
have good content.
Yeah.
But I forget. This is probably like episode 2 or 3. But Nicole was on a date with her now man, and she was walking in the streets of New York City in her Birkenstocks, and a rat scurries over her foot, and she punts that hoe. It goes flying, and then she went and like bleached her foot. Um, but yeah, so that's the story. But like, yeah, rats are
Can I tell you
disgusting.
my rat story?
Yes, I would love to hear your rat story.
So it was at RGP event. We were in Washington, D.C. Uh, I was drunk. I was gone, but the club hasn't closed yet. But I was ready to go, so I just walked out, and I didn't get an Uber or anything. So I was like, because my phone died, so I was like, I can just walk back to the hotel. Felipe had no clue where the hotel was, um, and I'm just walking around DC, just lost. And then I see a rat, and I start to cry. Like I'm lost, and there's rats everywhere.
I'm lost. And he's gone. AJ, oh my God, I don't know. I remember there's like a mouse that my brother killed one point at our house, like years ago, decades ago at this point. Um, but no, like I don't have like a memorable rat story other than they're kind of nasty, and I would never have one on my skin. You know, Alfredo Linguini needs rabies shots after he bit and nicked at
I
his skin.
agree. I agree,
And
Felipe.
like low key, this movie. I sympathize with Skinner. He is being gaslit to hell. He is seeing things, and he is like the only one who is like, there is a rat in the kitchen, and nobody believes him except the health inspector finally, and they shut that place down. Poor Gusteau, he is probably rolling around in his grave.
Okay, so here's my thing. I also agree. Skinner had me until he lost me. He did lose me at some point. But for a lot of the movie, I was like, you know what? I'm just on his side. I was like, he's the reason why I want to do a villain tier list because I'm like, he's just doing his job.
Yeah.
For the most of this, just trying to keep this struggling restaurant afloat.
I think he's not gonna be like top tier villain for me, but like he's in the bucket of like Darla where we're gonna have a fun time conversing about him, even if it's
Yep.
like he's not like the most quote unquote villainous villain. But like he's definitely memorable and like he was kind of like the highlight of the movie for me. I like to me, I knew Antoniego was like the big final bad, but like
Mhm.
I forgot how much of the movie was about Skinner and how like he's
Yeah.
so much more prevalent. Because again, I've only seen this movie. I saw it in theaters, and we were some international country, maybe Canada. Um, but and then I remember I told you on the last podcast about the like kid who gets abducted by aliens.
Yes.
That was the pre Pixar short for this movie. That's what it was. It was Lifted, I believe is the name of it, because I was doing research and I was
I don't
like,
think I've seen the
oh,
short.
I enjoy it. It's basically about like a driver's ed sort of situation. I didn't rewatch it for this, but I like read up and I was like, oh yes, I remember this now. But yeah, this was like the first time I revisited this movie in years. But I do like, I mean, the visual of a rat making food is like so iconic, and like Skinner, the motorcycle chase lived rent free in my mind.
Fair enough. Like, here's my thing. I found this also movie disgusting, but this reminds me of the Supreme Court, where sometimes they
What a jump!
no, it's because sometimes they will like take the most vile or the most extreme cases to rule on it. So that way it's like even on these like less extreme cases, you can't question it because we ruled this way on such an extreme case. Like there's no way you can think we want to apply it to less extreme cases. And that's why I feel like with this, like it's such an extreme case to allow multiple rats be in your kitchen cooking and be okay with that. But I also understand the message that they were trying to send with that. But I was like, you didn't need to work that hard to send the message.
Yeah, let's go into the message and themes of the movie. Like, how do you feel about it? Like, anyone can make art, anyone can achieve anything, and like just like also the quote changes nature, and like you can pursue whatever, and great art can come from anywhere.
I genuinely believe great art can come from anywhere. I honestly that's one of my biggest issues with college admissions, if I'm being honest with you. First off, like I think it's such an elitist institution that like first off, if you don't come from a specific what is it, economic level, you that's not even a thought you have. Or if you just because you're like not the greatest student in school, like that's the problem with like middle to high school. It's like it's such a broad general things where it's like you don't understand, or at least not everyone understands like what
And
they're good at, what's their true talent, what can they excel at. And if we had more like classes or courses that can like show the youth like what talents I have or what benefits I can have to the world, we can have more people that aspires. And you don't have to go to college to
yeah,
do that aspire. You can like do that without going to college. Like look at Mark Zuckerberg, right? College is not necessary, but it's still such a institution
I
that
mean, he
like,
famously did go to Harvard, but like I don't.
oh, who was the one that didn't go to school and made a thing out of their garage? Someone.
Oh, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Okay, that's what I
Speaking of Pixar, yeah,
meant. um, but also like people like you see this right now. I don't think you're following the Howard controversy about how we're dropping a lot of their incoming freshmen, but they're keeping certain freshmen because of who their parents are, who their
Mhm.
last name is, legacy students or
Yeah.
people who have like high value. And it's like just because you don't come from a certain background does not mean you greatness cannot come from with you, cannot come from within. Like no matter how bad of a but how rough of a draw in life you got, you can make something of yourself. You can do something great, and you can be so respectful that people have no choice but to watch you and but to be amazed and be in awe of you. I like that message. I think that is a good message. I hate that they did it with a rat.
I really appreciate what you're saying with like
Mhm,
the like upper levels of income and education like many people need to reach like certain prestige
mhm,
and education. And I know there's like kind of a moment in time that we're in right now where a lot of people are like pursuing community college
mhm,
because it's more affordable and like you can still learn just as much information at a community college than like a Harvard, a Yale, an Ivy.
mhm,
And I also greatly appreciate like what vocational schools can teach people,
mhm.
like because some traditional like educational courses are not for everyone. Like
Exactly.
there's people who like need to pursue vocations because that's what speaks to them more. And when I was in middle school, there was a tour of a nearby vocational school that was super cool. I thought it was super, super cool. My mom didn't think it was like the best path for me because she thought I was like more into the academic and like more general, like
Mhm,
traditional education track than like, yeah, I'm kind of on her side. I should not be a mechanic. I don't know anything about cars. But like for the people who like want to weld or do hair or cook or like all these other types of roles
mhm,
that you could have, like that's super cool. Um, I also went to like a very prestigious like boarding school for high school, and they didn't have like a film or radio or anything like of that. They had a radio program, but it was very like small. And but like if more schools had a diversity of um topics and education as opposed to just the traditional stuff like history and math and like literature. Like I feel like there
mhm.
could be like more people finding their craft and their passion. And art is one of those things that is deeply underfunded, especially in public
Mhm.
schools. And I think this movie is a celebration of art and like
Yes.
what people can do and like is truly just like if you believe in people and give them the resources, you might find the most amazing and incredible talent in the most unexpected places, right?
Yes.
But a lot of people, and I feel this way very much about like with the world we're living in right now, where like capitalism is so core to what is happening in this world, capitalism, corruption, but like
Mhm,
because of the what's this like the gap in
mhm,
accessibility and resources, sometimes the most talented people, even in like in something that I'm in, the film industry, right? Like there's so much creativity and talent that like people are poaching these directors off of YouTube. This 20-year-old kid just directed one of the biggest movies of the year, Backrooms,
mhm,
because then he was given the resources to execute his vision because they saw it on YouTube and they were like, "Oh, this is something. Let's do it." But the studio system does not allow independent voices and creativity to rise, and that's why a lot more independent filmmaking is where it's at these days and independent productions. And once something becomes um, like private equity, they lose
mhm.
a lot of the zest and talent, even though they do have more of abundance of resources, because then there's a lot of chefs in the kitchen, right? So I feel like this movie has a lot of great themes, and like I think of the themes that like are like we've discussed so far in these Pixar movies, this is something that really speaks to me as someone who is trying to pursue art and creativity
Mhm.
and like telling stories and using my voice, and having my impact on creativity. And that is the thing that speaks to me most about this movie. Um, it is through a silly little rat. But yeah, and then also like again, Paris propaganda, as AJ says.
Paris propaganda.
Um, but yeah, in terms of like the characters, like we talked a little bit about the rats and like the family father-son stuff. Anything you want to like add to that dynamic of like taking like this very much is like kind of where I would see if you're trying to translate it to real human stories, like these people in my industry who are like, I want to pursue art and creative lifestyle stuff, but like their parents are like, you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, or something more
Mm.
traditionally successful. I feel like Django's like, no, you have to stick to like this path, and Remy's like, no, I want to do this path instead. I feel like there was definitely that. There's also like father-son strain and like being different than what your family expects you. I think there's like something to be said about like queer identities as well. Like, oh, you're trying like I don't think it's like the best example of a Pixar movie to discuss queerness, but I think there is also like Remy who's like living his alternative lifestyle. And Django's like, no, you need to like do what our tradition is and stay in this kind of box that I'm putting you in. And then there's also like the chasing dreams of it all. Like, but like, how do you feel about the rat? colony, clan, as they called it a couple times.
I think the father, what's his name? Django, you said?
Django.
Yeah, Django and Remy's relationship is actually a very interesting and
You,
complex one.
you know, Ratatouille is actually the original name of Django Unchained. Remy was the Unchained one though. No, I'm sorry.
Jesus. I think it's a very interesting conversation that is happening between the two because I think I agree with you with the idea of being Boston and like having a at least a parent figure knocking down your passions or your talents or your interests because of what they believe is right by the what should be right by the world, how you should adhere to society standards, how you should not try to like quote unquote color outside the lines or something like something of that sort.
Mm,
And I think it's a very interesting thing because I think there's a I like that they did it like this because I think there's a version of the story where this comes from hate. This comes from anger. This comes from a place of not liking change or not liking something different. I feel more that this from Django comes from a sense of fear
hmm
and a sense of worry for his son. And less so like, and I think part of it is like he's too close-minded to understand like what his son's real passion is because you see multiple times within the movie like Remy tried to be open with his father and his father does not really reciprocate or validate his feelings many times. But also you see when he does, you see like the absolute fear and terror that like a father has, like almost like if I'm being honest with you, Marlon
Yeah, well,
from Finding Nemo.
I was gonna say like I feel like off my knowledge, like a lot of these Pixar parent or guardian relationships with their children or offspring or little dudes are gonna be stemmed in fear more so than hate. I feel like I can't think of an example off the top of my head of a Pixar movie that is like the parent has
Mhm.
like a disdain or hate for the lifestyle. It's more so like they're afraid of their child being harmed. And I feel like we see that in Turning Red, even with the mom, like she's like overprotective because she doesn't want her daughter to be hurt,
Yes.
right? I think of like I know you haven't seen it, but Elio, like there's a fear there. Marlon, of course, is a great example. And then even in this one, like Django, like he's kind of like a tough father figure, but like he doesn't want his son to end up in the taxidermy shop. Like rats should not be scurrying around Paris like he is, because that is crazy to be running
Mhm.
around a kitchen. Like Brad Bird literally said that he was drawn to the film and the concept because like rats, this is a rat who wants to be
Would
in the
you
kitchen, but rats should be afraid of kitchens.
would you say Coco is the closest thing we get?
Coco is the closest thing we get, yeah. But that also stems from family trauma.
Get it.
It's that, yeah. No, I think Coco it is like hate and like sheltering from like this thing that they're like, don't touch this. Like this is like
Mm.
a taboo subject. Yeah, I feel like Coco is the closest thing to like, no, you're not allowed to do this because of like it is like morally wrong to play music.
Mm.
Because of what they've been through, and then that is unpacked in that film. I'm very excited to talk
Coco
about
gonna be a
Coco.
fun conversation.
I feel like Coco's gonna be my hope with Coco is that you come away from it having your life changed for the better because I know you did not like Coco the first time you watched it, or you thought it was overrated.
I, I did not care for it, and I did not like the main character. But as you can see from this franchise, that's not a unique to Coco thing.
Yes, I mean I feel like maybe we're in our era of unlikable heroes, like because I
Unlikable
know
heroes,
Carl's coming up soon. Um, we're gonna get Brave and she's stubborn. I don't know.
brave and
Mater, you
she's
don't like
stubborn.
Mater. You don't like Mater in Cars 2.
Oh,
Maybe we're
talking about movie,
anti-heroes.
I'm so not excited about Cars 2.
I'm
Ugh.
so excited for Cars 2.
I'm so not excited for that one.
Um,
I'm so ready to come on my soapbox and be like, you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah,
I
no,
will
I want one of those movies. I cannot wait till we get to one that like blindsides us.
like Blind Sides is for the better, and I think it
Yeah.
could be Coco. I would not be surprised if it's Coco.
How did your life change? I want to say for the better when you joined Coco and I in the mafia. Let's talk about the humans though. Like Alfredo Linguini is our main human star. We got Colette, we got Skinner, we got Anton Ego, we got the kitchen staff. We got Granny with the gun. In terms of, I feel like the story is like kind of dual story. We got Remy's story and we got Alfredo Linguini's story. First of all, how do you feel about Linguino Alfredo, Linguini Alfredo as a dish?
Love me some linguine Alfredo. I
Chicken
love it
broccoli
as a
Alfredo
dish.
like goes so hard.
Chicken broccoli. I love it. Uh, What is it? I
Like
think that's what I usually get from Applebee's. It's like the broccoli Alfredo or something like that.
I don't know when the last time if I've ever been to an Applebee's before.
Let me tell y'all something. If y'all want something cheap,
What
and
about Cheesecake Factory? That they have a good chicken broccoli Alfredo, but it's like so the Cheesecake Factory is so expensive.
I've only been to Cheesecake Factory once, and that was during a high school field trip, and I only got an appetizer
Okay,
because we had to catch the bus.
valid. Okay, I know. Friend of the podcast, Chappelle, has very famous takes about Cheesecake Factory, but I love a Cheesecake Factory. So if we ever do a world tour in the States, we can stop at a Cheesecake Factory.
Fair enough, fair enough.
But no, so Alfredo Linguini, basically like the heir of Gusteau. We don't know that. He's such a goober in this film. Like there's a
Such a
lot of
goober.
physical comedy. Like Homeboy is literally speaking to a rat, and he's like, "I'm going crazy," and then he's like, "Wait." I'm like, I. He is the epitome of the male loneliness epidemic. That is why he's talking to a rat.
I will take no slander of Linguini Alfredo. Uh,
I don't think he's a red pilled incel, but I do think he like. I mean, I think there can be discussion on like male loneliness is not just like a symbol of like hateful individuals, but I do think like it is something that I mean we talked about this loneliness in general. Was that on
mhm.
pod or off pod for the cars? But loneliness is a thing, and I feel
I
like
think it was on
Alfredo's
pod.
literally grieving the loss of his mother. And they don't really unpack that in the film, but like his mother just passed, and he lives in an apartment by himself in Paris. Doesn't seem like he has a lot of friends. He's gotten fired to so many jobs, and I just feel like there's a lot of sadness in him that they don't really explore in the film, because it's a
Mhm.
comedy, right? It's a comedy for kids, but I feel like he's such a fascinating character to me, because like he's definitely like he feels like the embodiment of imposter syndrome. Like, I don't belong in this kitchen. I don't feel worthy of being
Mhm.
here. And Loki, you're just being crazy and putting ingredients in the soup with no business doing so. But I feel like I have appreciation for Alfredo that I didn't remember having as a kid. And I feel like, I don't know, I see parts of myself like the sad one who's just trying to like get by at times where you do crazy things, like talking to a rat.
Like, and here's my defense for Alfredo Linguini, real quick. I feel like that's how like most people are in the cook. They in the in not in the cook in the kitchen. It's literally trial and error. Like you don't like you're not Remy. You don't know immediately what's going to work or what's not going to work. Like you just try something. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, you're like, I know better next time. And sometimes it do work. And you're like, okay, better. Like you just have to spend time in it and like try stuff. And or follow a recipe.
Or yes, literally, Colette says, "Follow the recipe. We
Follow
don't
the recipe.
improvise." And
No,
I love Colette. I love
love
also
Colette.
like for such a especially like in the production and like at Pixar, it's such a boys' club. For like Colette to like be so well defined as a character.
I feel like you were talking about this. I don't know if it was last movie or 2 movies ago about not having a strong female character.
Yeah, no, I think it was Cars because even still, like Sally, like is a strong female character, but like through the lens of a man or a male character. Because I don't know if Cars are men, but they're
Like I think
male.
it's that right now, Helen, Jesse, and now Colette.
Yes. I think Dory. Dory is like a memorable character who's a woman, I guess.
She is memorable.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe not strong. I mean, Ada also theoretically could be in the discussion, but like for me, like the strongest
Who
one
is
so
that?
far,
Oh,
Ada's
the ant.
Bug's Life.
Bug's
Yeah.
Life.
AJ wants to forget Bug's Life so badly. He hates PT Flea. Okay, we'll discuss, but I think there's a worse John Ratzenberger character than PT Flea potentially in this movie. I think that waiter's dumb as rocks, and
Who?
the waiter,
He is dumb. He very much upset me.
yeah.
He did upset me.
But no, Colette I think is possibly the strongest woman character so far. I think it's between her and Elastigirl for sure.
I'll give you
And
that.
I also feel like I appreciated the discussion about like what women have to achieve in these industries that are male
Mhm.
dominated, and obviously like this can reflect in the movie industry. I'm sure Pixar was a boys club. Even
Mhm.
so, like when we talk about Toy Story 4 and Rashida Jones and like the discussions of what went on behind the scenes, that's like many weeks away. But like Pixar is famously like male dominated. Like
Mhm.
we haven't talked about any women in the top production roles except for like maybe a couple producers and the lady who saved Toy Story 2. Um, so like all these movie directors have been men, all these musical scorers have been men, all these screenplay writers for the most part I believe have been men. So like I really appreciated Colette. to the extent that they like bring out pepper spray at one point when like Linguini's being crazy and she's like, no,
Yeah.
like, and I appreciated the fact that they're like, oh, this is like kind of real in that moment. Like, she doesn't know what's gonna happen. She's like, this guy's crazy. And I feel like that is like very powerful to see in that scene. Um, and I wish we got more from Colette because I think she's my favorite character in the movie.
I can see that.
For many reasons. I think she's like fun and also like strong and like,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. How do you feel about Colette? I'm sure you
I
have
love
takes.
Colette. Colette's a fun character. I think Colette, I think is the highlight of the movie for me
Yeah.
personally. Yeah, I think Colette has a lot of funny character character moments, character beats about her being the only female in the kitchen, about how hard she has to work to get to where she is, and like her being overshadowed by this random kid who doesn't really know what he's doing.
Hmm.
And the resentment
It's
she could
also
get from
she
yeah.
even says like women have to work so much harder to be here, and then this guy
Mhm.
shows up and can like grow immediately just because it's obviously the rat. But like this movie doesn't have a ton of women characters anyways. There's the granny, there's her, there's like a ton of restaurant patrons, and there's the lady rat at the end of the movie that he's talking to. But like yeah, you don't even remember. Like the colony is all men for the most part. Like even the rats themselves.
Yeah.
Like so I appreciate that especially like for this film and like Colette for sure. I also think she is like the through line of the film where it's like anyone can cook because it comes from Colette at the end when she sees the book on the motorcycle. Like I feel like that's the defining point of the film's
Mhm.
thematic arc is like when Colette realizes it, it's like okay, she's maybe like the audience like she's the surrogate for us,
Okay.
especially for the human world.
Not my surrogate, but I respect her.
Who's your surrogate, Skinner?
No, what's
Because it's
his
like get
name?
this rat out of the kitchen.
The guy who killed someone with his thumb. That's my surrogate
Oh,
right there.
Horace, Will Arnett.
That's my surrogate.
That's Will Arnett. And I was like, that's crazy. And we don't know if he killed someone with his thumb. He could have. His stories always change.
His story
Um,
always changed, but like,
yeah,
let me tell you something. There was a point in this movie I stood up and applauded this man.
when he
We'll
kicked
get
Skinner out of the restaurant.
we'll get to it.
Skinner and Ego and Gusteau, like our villains and our main hero figure of Remy's imagination. I feel like Ego is the one that I'm like most excited to talk about because like criticism is like so prevalent in especially what we do as
Mhm.
podcasters and like there's even a line and I want to read his quote when we get to that point at the end of the movie of like his review, but it's like it's so easy to be a critic. You risk
Yeah,
very little. You are able to like profit off of negativity or whatever is kind of like what the core of the vibe is. But like I really find his not arc, but like his quote at the end is very powerful and like, oh, this is just like everything that I appreciate about art and like culture of discourse at this point in time, like especially for podcasting, that's like the modern version of film criticism
mhm.
and like discussion, like writing and critique and all that. So I think he's very fascinating to explore like fandom through. So I think we'll definitely have fun talking about him. But like, do you have anything to add about like Skinner, Ego, or Gusteau as we're like about to like kick off the core recap?
I think it's gonna be interesting to talk about two or three of those people. Uh, uh, Gusto, I really don't have too much to say about
Because he's
Gusto.
also a figment of Remy's imagination. So it's
Yeah,
like, but like,
basically.
yeah.
But
Um,
I think Skinner's going to be an interesting conversation about him and his role. I think Ego's role in the movie, I think is also interesting. Him being the critic and whatnot. Um, yeah, I think we'll have an interesting conversation about those two.
Valid, valid. And then lastly, I want to talk about like the visual and audio language and how they use the Tapestry of Paris in visual storytelling, and then also the soundtrack of Michael Giacchino to like score this film. And I think those are like two of the best parts of the movie. Obviously, like it's an animated film, so they can do a lot of cool things. Like it's a feast for
Hmm.
your eyes and ears. And like Pixar and computer generated animation like continues to evolve. So this is like 12 years after Toy Story, so it's a lot cleaner and sleeker. And kind of this is the first one. Maybe Cars feels like the most held up. Like you can't. There's not a ton of like things that you can like see in the film, and it's like, oh, this looks janky. Obviously, it looks sleeker in 2026,
Hmm.
but like I feel like if you look at Toy Story, you're like, oh, this kind of looks janky at times because it was a time
Yeah.
capsule. Ratatouille and Cars are kind of like the first ones that like oh, this feels like fully seamless and like it feels
Yes.
kind of like it could stand for a 2026 animated film, at least for like the casual viewer like us.
I agree. I agree with that
Um,
sense.
But yeah, anything you want to add about the pre-show?
Mm.
Cool. Let's get into the fast facts. So, director and writer Brad Bird, story by Bird, Jan Picava, and Jim Capobianco. The movie is 111 minutes. The budget was $150 million, and it turned out a box office of $623.7 million. It was released at the Kodak Theater, now the Dolby Theater, on June 22nd, 2007, and then it released in the US and probably worldwide on June 29th, 2007, starring Patton Oswalt as Remy, Lou Romano as Alfredo Linguini, Ian Holm as Skinner, Brian Deneke as Django, Peter San as Emile, Peter O'Toole as Ego, Brad Garrett as Gusteau, Janine Garofalo as Colette, Will Arnett as Horst, and John Ratzenberger as Mustafa the waiter. The development of this film was in 2000. The Czech-British director Jan Pinkava, who directed Jerry's Game. We
Ooh,
still have to do an episode on shorts at some point.
fair enough.
But Jerry's Game, he wrote concepts based on his experiences as an outsider in the States. He's a European guy, so he was like, I'm making art in this American country. And then in 2004, Bob Peterson was added as a co-director, but they were both replaced in 2005 by Brad Bird. So Jan Pinkava left Pixar. Bob Peterson went to go focus on Up, which was his project, and Brad Bird took over the project in 2005. But most of the models, bless you, most of the models, I forgot you were muted. That's so, yeah, it's just for the behind the scenes. AJ sneezed, and I wished him a bless you. He smelled a rat messing up with pepper. Most models, sets, and characters were done under the direction of Jan Pinkava, though. So, like, a lot of the stuff Brad just kind of adopted into it.
Hmm.
Um, Producer Brad Lewis interned at the French Laundry restaurant in the Napa Valley area of California, which is Thomas Keller's restaurant. He is also going to serve as a consultant, and he would be the one who said that if he were to serve ratatouille to Anton Ego, he would do it in the Confit Bialdi style. Which is the style we see in the film with the like
Hmm.
eggplant on top. Brad Bird was drawn to the movie based on the absurdist humor and physical comedy. He loved the fact that rats are afraid of the kitchen, but Remy wants to be in the kitchen.
Ask you a question. This is not a complaint about the movie. This is not a complaint about the movie. Did you find this movie to be funny?
There were a couple of chuckles,
Okay,
but like
cool.
I didn't find it like laugh out loud funny. Like I laughed more in Toy Story, I laughed more in Monsters Inc., I laughed more in Finding Nemo. Um, Even like Incredibles with Edna Mode, like there wasn't a ton of like laugh out loud moments. There were probably a couple moments that I definitely like that aren't jumping out at me as like chaotically funny.
Like I wouldn't describe this movie. If you ask me to put a genre, I want to put it in the comedy section.
I have to get back to you on that because I'm processing. I'm like, I think maybe I would put it in animated comedy, but yeah, it's like not like what would you put it in then? Like romance? No, I know what AJ would put this in. He would put this as a horror movie
Uh,
because he's like, there was a
me
rat in the
personally,
kitchen.
me personally, yes.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you on that. Tell
Okay.
you within the next.
Yeah. But like they definitely like play around with like the visual comedy of like slapstick with Linguini throughout the film for sure.
Mhm.
Um, Brad Bird, some of his credits for this film included he killed off Gusteau. Um, then he also added more to both Skinner and Colette's characters. The Pixar team spent a week in Paris. They did a motorcycle tour. They ate at five top restaurants. Keston Migdal, who was the department coordinator for Shade and Paint, was the one who jumped into the Pixar pool in a chef uniform to figure out how the like apron and everything
Mm.
like folded onto it for the scene where Alfredo jumps into the river. This is how I found out Pixar has a pool. Again, hire me. Cooking classes they took in San Francisco. They brought back subsurface light scattering from the Incredibles development to use for fruits and veggies. They designed Anton Ego to look like a vulture. Dana Carvey was approached for a role in this movie, but he declined because he had to be a dad and had duties as raising
Oh,
kids.
fair enough.
Um, do you want to know who Debbie Ducommun is?
Who is Debbie Ducommun?
She was a rat expert they consulted with, and they called her the Rat Lady.
I feel like that's an insult in any other contest. In any.
They also, for over a year, they had rats in a vivarium at Pixar that they would monitor for movement. And the soundtrack was by Michael Giacchino, who also wrote Le Festin, which was sung by Camille, who was 29, this French artist at the time. And I am 29 now, so we are the same age in my head. The Pixar short Lifted was the pre-show for this film, and this movie was nominated for 5 Oscars. It included a win for Best Animated Feature. It defeated Persepolis and AJ's favorite movie of all time, Surf's Up.
It defeated Surf's Up.
Yeah, honestly, I do think Ratatouille is a better movie than Surf's Up.
Okay, I think it's a better movie, but I think Surf's Up's more fun.
Probably. Surf's Up is like a stoner comedy.
And like
Um,
I'm okay with that.
Best Writing was nominated. Best Music Original Score was nominated. Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing. It did only win Best Animated Feature. It
Mm.
was nominated for 13 Annie Awards, including Best Voice Acting for Janine Garofalo as Colette, Patton Oswalt as Remy, and then Ian Holm won for Skinner. In 2021, it was ranked 95th on WGA's 101 Greatest Screenplay of the
Mm.
21st Century. We got two Ratatouille video games, and Remy and Ratatouille characters appear in Kingdom Hearts 3, Dreamlight Valley, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and Disney's Magic Kingdoms. We got two theme park rides in France and in the France Pavilion in Epcot in Disney World called Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which I love. It was my favorite ride of
Oh,
last year, where they have you in a trackless ride and you are basically Remy in the kitchen running away from like them. So it's like you're shrunk down to Remy size, and it's
mm,
like all these like screens, and it's just like so fun. I love that ride. I could have ridden it all day. The
mm.
TikTok musical and Raccacoonie, and that's our pre-show notes. Anything we
Every-
talked about here besides everything everywhere all at once that you want to
It's
add more
so
to?
much fun. It's just such a fun movie.
Raccacoonie. Well, I think it's so funny because like when you have immigrant parents, sometimes they'll like say incorrect titles or something, and there's like, yeah, Raccacoonie.
What was it? She was like, "You mean Ratatouille?"
She's like, no, Raccacoonie, and then the raccoon shows up.
Then the raccoon shows up.
That movie's so unhinged.
It's so unhinged. It's so wild.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go to Ratatouille from 2007. We are on the train to Paris. And we find out in the opening credits that the best food in the world is in France, according to this commercial. Anton Ego is a famous food critic, and Gusteau's restaurant is the most famous restaurant in the world. Then we see Remy jumping out the window with the book, and he's like, let's rewind a bit. And he gets the flashback. He's like, Remy has a great sense of smell. He becomes the poison checker for his family.
Yes.
And the rats are supposed to stay out of the kitchen. But of
Mm.
course, Remy loves the kitchen. He's eating a strawberry, he's eating a cheese, and then he combines them together and his has fireworks in his brain, which does like I get why people eat fruit and cheese together because they kind of slap.
Here's my thing, right? I've never been a big like combination person before, if that makes sense. Maybe I just don't have a palate. Maybe that's why I'm not so much cooking because I'm just like this tasted exactly how I thought it would. It tastes like strawberry and cheese.
What's the most craft combination you enjoy?
Crack?
Cracked.
I was like, I don't do the crack. I don't do the-
You're gonna hang up on me right now, but like I have been known to mix peanut butter and cottage cheese. I think
I've
it's
heard that
delicious.
before. I haven't tried it. I
From
wouldn't
me or
try it, but
from
I've
other
heard it
people?
done from other people.
Okay.
This is new from
Um,
you.
yeah, I think I don't know, it's very protein heavy and delicious.
Mm.
I also love peanut butter and vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, but I also like peanut butter and ice cream. I think that's
Yeah,
like, but as long as there's not too much peanut butter can become too overpowering.
valid.
Yes.
Um, So yeah, so Remy's eating the mushroom and he's frying it on the top, and then they get struck by lightning. And then he's
Yes.
like, we need to go get saffron. And he's like, where can you get saffron? Emil says, and he's like, well, I know the perfect spot. And Remy steals from the kitchen, and they're stealing from the kitchen, and they're watching, and he finds out Gusteau dies, and then so Gusteau loses a star because Anton Ego gives them a bad review. Then
Mm.
Gusteau dies of sadness. Then
Ooh,
they lose another star because that's tradition. If you die, you lose a star.
that sounds like a wild tradition. That sounds
Yeah.
like a wild tradition.
Apparently, there is like I think a French cook who did die after he got a star removed from his restaurant. So maybe he died of sadness, which is kind of sad.
I don't want people dying from sadness,
Yeah.
but also like yo, you can't have a single like critic have so much control over your happiness.
hmm
That's my humble opinion.
Um.
You're missing something that I found very interesting from Remy, and I know we have to go through this because we're trying not to make these too long. Um, um, Remy keeps calling like his family and his colony thieves, and I think that is such a that like
The hypocrisy.
hypocrisy and like such elitist thinking. Like they're not like going into people's houses and stealing. They're like literally like this
Well,
is
Remy
discarded
is.
trash. Remy, like if there's a thief in this, it's Remy. Like Remy's like the only thief.
They're like, how dare you eat garbage? Let me go to the kitchen and steal from humans.
Like he looks so down on his people, and I do not like that at
Yeah.
all.
Uh, yeah, Remy's a clown sometimes. Um, but yeah, so then he's like, we also get the motto anyone can cook because Gusteau has that cookbook. And
Yes,
so he is gonna be in the kitchen and Granny sees Emile and then she sees Remy and Homegirl's first instinct, she
I'm
grabs
glad
a
you say this.
shotgun.
I'm glad you're saying this. That's a wild first instinct to have when it comes to rats.
I'm like, this lady shoots up her entire house, destroys her shelter
Yes.
because of a rat. I'm like, get a shoe.
Okay. With that being said, I think a shoe. Whoa. I was like, just get some rat traps or something like that. Like, why are you
Well,
trying to
I
step
don't
on a
know
rat?
where she would get the rat traps if she didn't have it in her house. If she goes for the gun first, that's crazy. But no, she and then she gets a gas mask.
But like, here's the thing. I think she needed to get that gun. Well, she didn't need to get the gun. But now knowing after she like destroys her home that she had so many rats living in there, like I think she's better for knowing that.
True, but then like, where's she gonna go? She lives in the middle of nowhere. There's no hotels nearby. What is she
That's
gonna
fair.
do? She's like gonna be in the rain waiting for someone to repair her house?
You know what, pause. We haven't even talked about the wildest part of this woman. Like she chases them with the gun. She chases the rat as they're
Yes, she
long
starts
gone.
shooting in the river. She's like, pop, pop.
What are we doing here, Felipe? You got the
This lady's
rats.
chaotic, yeah. Like, I would not recommend a gun as your first defense of rats.
No.
Like, again, if you don't have rat poison, get a shoe. If you don't have a shoe, get something else, but not a gun.
This
And then
is
she goes and gets
wild.
more ammo.
Like, what are we doing?
I
They're
feel like
gone.
the beginning portion of the movie is kind of slow, but I feel like this is like one of the most memorable scenes of the movie because it's like,
It's so insane. It's so
why is this lady
insane.
shooting up this rat?
Like one of the most out of pocket scenes of this entire franchise so far.
I agree, yeah. Um, So, but yeah, so then Remy is like, well, I gotta get the book. And he jumps out the window with the book. And then his whole colony is like scooting away on the river. And Remy's like slightly behind them. And the lady keeps shooting at them. And then they get separated in the sewers. Do you remember Flushed Away?
No, what's that?
The one about the rats that go get flushed down the toilet. And then they live in the sewer colony. Okay, I think that's DreamWorks. So it's probably season seven at this
Okay, fair
point.
enough.
We'll get to it.
Let's do Dream of Season 2. I like DreamWorks.
Yes, no, I know, but we're doing the joke that we started. We just like say random number. No, DreamWorks is canonically season two
Okay.
as we prepare for season two, but we're like about to hit 33% done. We're almost at movie 10.
That's insane.
That's crazy that we're almost a third of the way done. But yeah, so they get separated in the sewer, and Remy is lost. He's sad. He's alone. He's hungry, and the Gusteau ghost pops up. Have you ever had a figment of your imagination pop up and tell you to do things?
No.
Who would be the figment of your imagination?
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
But she's alive.
I didn't know they had to be dead. Betty White.
Betty White! Oh, we love Betty White. I feel like mine would be Naya Rivera.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so what would Betty and Naya tell us to do?
Get that gun. Get that gun.
Another kid, give me that shovel. Why didn't do you think that's a crazy lady in the RV with Randall?
I don't think it is, but I feel like they have a kinship.
They
There's
do
a
have a
kinship there.
kidship. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, because you know the lady would have grabbed the shotgun if she had one.
If she had one,
But she had a shovel. Another gator, give me that shovel.
listen, and listen, if all she had was a shovel, she would have grabbed that shovel instead of the gun.
Um, so yeah, so Gusteau tells Remy to look around, so he starts scampering throughout Paris and the walls. There's this couple that he sees fighting, and then they kiss. He
You
finds a
know,
French baguette.
I'd like to change my answer. It'll be Bernie Mac. It'll be Bernie Mac.
Yeah, I love it, love it, love him. Um, then Gusteau's like, no, no, don't eat that bread. You can do more. You can do more. And I was like, I would eat the bread, and then I would
Eat
go
the
look for more.
like he's starving. Like what are we doing?
And he listens. I'm like, no, take the bread with you. What the hell?
You're gonna die.
You like a French baguette?
It's spread.
I love French baguette. You put it in the oven for like 7 minutes, and then you like break it apart. You hear the symphony of the crackle. And then you like put some butter on that, or olive oil, or burrata, or cheese. Oh, I'm getting so hungry just thinking about it. Um, but yeah, so then he's scurrying around Paris, and then we get the Eiffel Tower shot at night, which is beautiful. And he's like, "Oh my God, Gusteau's is right here."
He's
Yeah,
right there at the Gustos.
yeah. So this is where we get introduced to Alfredo Linguini. His mom Renata died, and she has a letter to give to Skinner, and Linguini becomes the garbage boy because one of the kitchen staff hired him. And Hal's like, "How dare you hire him without my consent?" And then Linguini starts popping the ingredients into the soup, and Remy's watching from the ceiling, and he's like, "What the hell
Mm.
is this man doing?" Um, and
Not your
then
business.
yeah, but he falls, and he starts like scattering around the kitchen. He gets in the oven at one point.
Mm.
Um, and then he starts like putting things into the soup, and Linguini sees.
I'll be honest with you. I think like just like your Disney ride, I think it would be so much fun being small and getting to run around. I think that's such a fun idea.
Yeah, until they're trying to kill you.
Yeah, once they try to kill me, that's the problem. And
It's like you want to be like Ben 10 where you turn into that little gray matter alien where you're like cute and tiny, or like you can like change your size,
yeah,
or like Beast Boy.
but I can turn myself back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but
Linguini
yeah,
sees him.
Linguini sees him, and then he like looks, and then they're like, "Linguini, what did you do?" And they serve the soup, and he's like, "Oh my God." Skinner is upset because yeah, they send out the soup, and Soline Leclerc loves the soup. And Colette
Ooh,
tells Skinner he cannot fire Linguini because anyone can cook. And they're like, "Okay, Colette, you have to help him." And this is after Linguini hurls also because he sees Remy doing that stuff. And then Skinner says, "All right."
a rat.
And then they capture the rat in the jar. My favorite part of the scene was when Skinner's yelling at Linguini for messing with the soup. And he's like, "Draw and quarter him." I'm like, whoa.
Wait, what happened?
Skinner says, "You need to be drawn and quartered because of how you messed up the soup."
He said that?
Yes.
Whoa, I just blanked out. That's a wild thing to
I
say.
caught that on my rewatch because I have the captions on for the rewatch because I like just scribbling notes. I was like, that is insane. What's
That
that,
is.
tar and feathering? Um, this movie also like Skinner says like you're going to hell at some point or whatever, or welcome to
He does
hell.
say that. I was like, that's wild for a Pixar movie.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so then they're like dispose of the rat, and he's like here, and he's like no, not in the kitchen. You go to the sewers. Or whatever he says. And then Linguini has the rat in the jar and he starts talking to him. And then he's like, yeah, what do I do? Oregano? No. Rosemary? And then Remy's like nodding and he's like, wait, you can understand me? You can understand me. And then he falls in the water. And then we smash cut back. Like, would you ever jump in the water to talk to a rat?
No,
No.
no,
At what point have we lost AJ? Where would AJ?
you've already lost me. You've y'all, you've been on too long, Felipe. I've been gone.
Would you have messed with the soup though?
No,
No, you would
wait,
just be
wait,
doing your
like
job, like
linguine?
if like Linguini.
Yes, like that was a wild thing. Well, pause. He did like spill some of it, so he had to replace. No, pause. You're not a chef.
You would just be like, Colette, I messed up. I dropped the soup.
You know what? I think that was the appropriate thing to do. Not throw stuff into the soup.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not saying he deserved to be fired, then, but he already lost me.
You lost me.
Well, pause.
Yeah.
Okay, pause. Linguini, it's hard for Linguini to like me. He's such a lovable goof.
Yeah. Have you seen the meme that is like every single podcast is hosted by these three guys, and then it's a picture of Riley's dad from Inside Out, Al's from Al's Toy Barn, and Alfredo Linguini, and then someone posted this like years ago in the RHAP Facebook group and was like, "This is Rob Akiva and Mike Bloom."
Pause. Michael will be Linguini.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So they Linguini is like communicating with Remy. He's like, "I'm gonna trust you here, little chef." And then Remy's like, "Bye, peace out." And then he turns around and
I don't know which was wilder, that he's left or that he turned around. Because I felt both were stupid.
yeah.
Like I was like, why are you running? And then we came back. I was like, no, why did you come back?
But Linguini's such a good host. He makes a little bed for Remy the rat. They're going to Linguini's apartment. I'm like, this guy gets fired from every job, but he has an apartment with a view of the Eiffel Tower. That is nice.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, listen, I say Linguini is a lovable goofball. Like, how bad do you have to be that the only way you can hold down a job is through your mom's will?
Like, what else do you think he's gotten fired from?
Every other job.
No, but what? What do you think he's done? Like, he's making balloon animals in the park?
Ice cream scooper. Um,
Damn.
what else he do? He
Bakery,
probably like worked in a bakery. He probably worked at a theater. Um,
mime.
every job,
I want to go
even
to
a bad
Paris with
mime.
AJ now. Let's go. We should go to Paris. Uh,
He just wants
and
to see
we
me
will
complain.
go find all the jobs that Linguini would have gotten fired. Do you think he worked at a boulangerie?
What is a boulangerie?
It's a bakery. It's just a
Uh,
French term. Do you have any French pastries that you like? Like, do you like a chocolate eclair?
I don't think I've ever had it in Claire.
Oh my God, you're missing out. What about those little like cream puffs? Oh, those cream puffs are addicting.
I'm fine.
AJ is not into desserts. He's never
Listen,
been to the Cheesecake Factory. He's never been to a boulangerie. He probably eats grasshoppers for dessert.
I am getting attacked
Yeah.
on just because I don't like France.
AJ don't like France. He would not have found the round trip ticket in Big Brother 18.
No, I wouldn't have. I would not have.
Um, but yeah, so they're watching. I thought this was Casablanca at first, and then I looked it up. It's probably I think it's a reference to Now Voyager, which I only know because of they have a scene set in Rio, but I used to talk about it at work.
Hmm.
But because it's like, oh well, my family's from Rio. But that's apparently where the A113 train is also in that movie, but I couldn't catch it in
Hmm.
my second watch because I was watching on a sped up speed. My first watch is always 1x for the girlies at home. But then when I'm taking notes, I speed it up.
You can speed it up on Disney Plus.
I have an extension on Chrome.
Oh, fair enough. See, I watch on that television.
Yeah, no, I watch on the television or on my iPad or on 1x on my laptop for the first run through,
Mm,
and then I do speed it up.
the extension.
Once
Fair
for
enough.
me, once for vibes, and then the second for notes. Um, but
Fair
yeah,
enough.
so then Remy has a great view. They made him a little bed. That's cute.
I like a little bit. I'm here's my thing. I'm not anti-rats. I would like to let you know. I know many people have had rats as pets. That's
That's
fine.
weird.
That's fine. That
That's
like
weird.
I like listen. I know some people like having stuff like ferrets as pets. Like people like have tarantulas as pets. Like if you want to have snakes as pets, I get it. Some people have pets that I would not have pet as pets. My issue is a rat in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, we even see at the start of the movie where Remy's like, I walk on 2 feet because I don't want to wash my hands all the time. I was like, why do you think I walk on 2 feet? Um,
Also, like, isn't it like scientifically proven like walking on two feet is like ineffective or something?
yeah, I feel like Remy ran faster when he was on fours.
Basically,
Um,
like,
but
he said that again. Another time he was being an elitist snob. He looked down on his brother when he said that. Like I was like, sir, like he sure it was like, oh, I don't want to keep washing my hands. First off, wash your hands every time you enter the kitchen. Doesn't matter if you've been on it or not.
we do
Like,
see
don't
a
be
couple
disgusting.
scenes though, like where Remy, when he's messing with the soup, he does like grab a dewdrop from the sink to like
And
clean
that's
his
not
hand.
washing your hands.
That's not because he didn't use soap. But then when his when his clan is making the food at the end of the movie, they like go into the steamer so they can all clean up. Like uh, if I had a nickel for every time Linguini thought that he lost Remy the Rat at within a 5 minute span, I'd have two nickels. Because he wakes up and he's like, "Okay, little chef." And he's like, "Little chef, where'd you go? I can't believe I let a rat into my house. Said you could eat on my food." And then he's making little omelets, which I have had omelets in the last 2 days, because of this movie, including for breakfast this morning.
I wish I had an omelet.
I sent you a picture of an omelet if you want to see it on Snapchat.
Okay, I'll check. Like, here's my issue. I'm like, here's and listen. Let me tell you something.
That is something I
This
can cook pretty well at this point in my life.
this is my biggest issue being in the kitchen. I'm not the best at cracking eggs. Like I
Gee.
struggle. It's hard.
I'm not the best either, but I've been using liquid egg white this week. So,
Oh,
because
fair enough.
I
Fair
am
enough.
trying to eat slightly better, but also that's a work in progress because tell me why I ate almost a half of a tub of ice cream last night.
Let me tell you something. Ice cream is a good thing,
In my head, I'm still on vacation.
as you should be. You deserved it.
Yeah, I do deserve. I do deserve. But yeah, so Remy cooks a baby omelet and a big omelet, and then for the second time in this movie, someone tells him, "Do not steal," because he went to the neighbor garden, and stole from them.
He's a
Uh,
thief.
he's a thief.
That rat.
He's literally a rat floater.
And he wants to be like, oh, y'all are thieves. You're the thief,
Okay,
Remy. You're the problem.
I don't believe in AI, but
Okay.
if someone wants to make Ratatouille, but change Patton Oswalt's voice to Nicole Franzel's voice with AI,
Okay.
I would kind of live for that.
I think Remy would be bad at reality TV.
Remy would be such a snooty judge. He would be watching Top Chef and he's like, these people suck. Do you think Remy would be on Top Chef as a judge?
No, because you know what, Pop, maybe. You know what, never mind. Yeah, he would.
I mean, this world is insane as it is. I low-key could see it.
I
They'd
could
be
see
like,
it.
yeah, and I
Okay.
don't want to see it, but I can.
Uh,
What a
anyway,
life we lead in the big brother house.
it's not a good one.
No. Yes, by the time this episode releases, I am praying for someone from the Roman Empire to be HOH. Praying. That's what I call the other
Eh,
side of the house.
okay, I know this isn't a reality TV podcast, and we'll stop talking about it after the statement. Kama Bud, vote for Taylor. Give
Vote
her
for
the power.
Taylor.
Give her the
Yeah,
power.
Taylor, as long as it's like Taylor, Mallory, Drew, if he survives, which
Don't
hopefully
give it to
this.
Drew. Do not give it to Drew.
Hey, he is being lambasted for something he didn't even do. He never had the coin in the first place.
Drew is all in on those bets. No offense to D and Devins and
Well, no, you can say offense to. Not those two, but the other one. But I think when we record the Wally podcast, we are either going to be in a great mood or a bad mood.
um, I'll be fine.
True. We're going to be talking about a cute robot. But
Oh
so
my gosh, I love Wally.
I, we'll talk about it when we get there.
We'll
But
talk
like,
about
I'm
it.
curious about Wally. But yeah, Linguini tells Remy not to steal. The Leclerc review is, I just get it, Leclerc.
Ah, that makes sense.
So stupid. Leclerc review is amazing, and they're reading it in the kitchen. And Remy is put in Linguini's uniform, and he's like walking. He's like doing like for those visual watchers,
Yeah,
you got me doing like the Squidward tentacles arm jiggles, I guess. Like
yeah,
because Linguini's moving like a clown, because he has a rat in his body, and like I would much rather have a rat in my head on my hair than on my chest and skin and nipping at me, biting me. I was like, I like the fact that he screams in the fridge and nobody is like, the heck is happening in there? Why is this man screaming? And like he's ripping his shirt off in a room that probably has a camera. I'm like, you're trying to get fired.
why are you biting this man? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
Like the man already, you already have the man's attention. You biting him is doing nothing. Like you're just giving him diseases.
true. And he doesn't even get a rabies shot in this movie. Also,
Doesn't even
is
get a rabies shot.
Skinner smart? He should just check the cameras of the restaurant. You're telling me Gusto's doesn't have cameras? This five-star restaurant, now three stars, never had cameras installed in the early 2000s? Please. CTV is a thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah, so then Skinner sees the rat, he thinks, but it's they turn the lights off real quick, and then the lights are on, and the rat's gone, and he's hiding in Linguini's hair, and then Linguini almost smashes into the waiter, and Remy yanks his hair, and was like, "Whoa!" And he goes under the tray and saves himself. It's like that's super cool. Um, and then at the end of the night, tell me why this man grabs his tie, blindfolds himself, and then is letting this rat control him while he's handling heat, flame, knives, glass.
Felipe had the same question. I thought you were going to come up here and say something, and I was going to disagree with it, but I'm glad we're both confused.
This is why we're friends because we don't disagree often, except for Route 66. Apparently, that's where we disagree strongly. The
No, that's
song.
not what. No, let me tell you something. That's not where we disagree strongly with the song list. It's
Yeah.
Woody's Roundup.
Yes, true. Woody's Roundup. Oh, I love that song. Um, but yeah, so this is where we start. Like back at the What You Doing podcast, Navi, Will, and I, we had the Candace Gaslight Watch. This is the Skinner Gaslight Watch.
He's being so gaslit. Like, and I'm pretty sure as a kid I was here for it. As an adult, I'm not here for the
Like
gaslighting.
Skinner's not flawless. Like we'll talk about how he's trying to hide the will from Linguini, and that's foul. And like theoretically, you're the lawyer in this house. Could he go to jail for like not disclosing that if that got found out? Like because he's
I
like
don't know if he could go to jail, but I don't think like
he's
this is
definitely
me. So,
skirting the lines of
like as someone who never studied trust and wills, um, I don't think he can, but I don't think it is valid if he's a known beneficiary and he does not let the known beneficiary know of the will.
true, true. Okay, this is also Parisian law, not American law, so who knows?
If I went to school in Louisiana, I would have known.
True. The Louisiana Purchase.
Uh,
No.
they
No.
use use the French law.
French law.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think yeah. I think the rest of America use English law, and they're like we use French.
Did we hang out? No, you didn't go to Louisiana with me. I feel like we should go to Louisiana. That is a city I would love to go to with
I
AJ.
want to go to
To
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun trip. Um, so yeah, so Skinner sees the man. This is where we get a montage where Linguini's practicing blindfolded. Um, he like throws something out the window at one point when he's flipping an omelet. He starts cutting the onion. I'm like, that is terrifying. You're gonna let this rat at that point. Like, also the thing is, like, I understand why they blindfold him for like practice sake, but it's also like Linguini's gonna have vision while he's doing it, so you can actually like cut the onions while he's watching, so he can see while you're practicing controlling him. Like,
Mhm.
I know that this is more for like the art and the fun, but like crazy behavior. Like, you can't catch me like I will do a blindfold challenge, not with knives.
I agree. I like once you're using like dangerous like spots. I didn't like it with the flames, with the heat, all that stuff. Like I don't think they should be doing it, but especially not with knives. You would have cut me.
Do you remember in Ted when he is doing cocaine and drinking, and Ted is like, "I'm gonna do the finger thing," and then they do it?
Yes,
That's season 35 of the podcast.
I love Ted the series.
I haven't seen the series. I need to watch it.
It's so much fun.
Because Seth MacFarlane, a Boston legend.
Mhm.
So we're on the road to Paris. So yeah, so the next day, Colette tells Linguini women do not get respect and he will not mess up her career. And this is also where we find out that Skinner is creating a Frozen franchise empire with Cousteau, and they have the Asian cuisine version, they have the barbecue version, they have the Mexican cuisine version, and he has all the different Gusteau pop-ups, which is crazy to me. But also like understand you're making a Frozen franchise empire.
Like here's my thing. I know 100% that scene was supposed to make me dislike
Yeah.
Skinner more, but I was like, he's just doing business though.
Also,
Like he's not
frozen
doing
food from Trader Joe's or supermarkets can be quite delicious.
like listen. I know frozen food. I eat frozen food every now and then. Like
What's
it's
your
not
favorite frozen meal?
favorite.
I love a
I'll do
shepherd's pie
I'll a shepherd's pie.
or a lasagna, like an oven lasagna
I'll
from
do an oven
Costco.
lasagna. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do
I
oven
also love a
lasagna.
frozen pizza.
Also like a frozen pizza, but like those are hit or miss.
See, I'm not the biggest chef, but I feel like I throw down with an oven.
I'll pop something in a second.
But even like bacon, I feel like bacon could be fun.
Like
But
baking
besides
is
the egg
fun.
part, if you
I,
leave a shell in there.
I think baking is fun, but it's a lot of measurements, and I'm not good with those.
Yeah.
As a black man, I am a very much a listen to my ancestors and not a recipe.
Listen, and like historically, black chefs are some of the best chefs in the world. I think like there's a reason why I feel like traditionally
Mm,
the Caucasian chefs are not the most popular unless they have a little international flavor because American people do not love spice. They keep everything it's very bland
I love
and
me some spice.
yeah. Are you a big spicy food guy?
I wasn't when I was younger, but over the past few years, yes.
I can appreciate a spicy food now. Like there are times where I'm like, oh, I want some spicy Indian food or like
Mm.
coconut curry or something with some spice or like salsa or something for Mexican food. But I also like to joke that I'm the whitest Latino possible because also traditionally Brazilian food doesn't have a ton of like spiciness.
Mm,
But also like I grew up in the white suburbs of Massachusetts, so
fair enough.
I
Massachusetts.
do appreciate sometimes spicy food does make my tummy hurt sometimes if I eat it too late at night. But getting old, so that's why.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah. I'm at the age where like I can start feeling the pain in my body. I was like, no, take me back to my youth.
enough.
So yeah, this is also where Skinner opens up the letter, and it's a pink letter. I love it, or a purple letter.
Yeah, I think purple.
Do you write cursive? Did you learn cursive in school?
I did like cursive in school.
I feel like kids these days don't learn cursive. I love cursive. My cursive is not the prettiest. It's pretty. It's like I give it a B. But my parents and my grandma have incredible cursive because like cursive is the required standard for writing, or at least it was when my parents were growing up in
Mm,
Brazil. Like every essay that you'd write on paper was supposed to be written in cursive, versus now
mm.
everyone types everything, right? So I don't know if it's still the standard, but like I have tattoos in my grandmother's handwritings, and they are in cursive, and my parents, I feel like their traditional writing is cursive usually.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think my traditional writing is cursive, but I like cursive. I enjoy writing cursive. I think I'll rate mine a C. It's readable, but it's not good.
Yeah.
It's readable.
Do you have an AJ font that you've ever like? I don't know if your desire or has ever been or is ever going to be being on Survivor, but have you ever visualized the way you would cast a vote?
No, comma, but when I was in middle school, I was very obnoxious. This is for the YouTube video viewers only.
Yes,
Um,
go check out Brazilian Dragon Productions on YouTube. AJ just responded to a comment in there.
yes, but I used to so goofy, Felipe. I used to write my name like where's the draw feature? There it is. I used to write my name like this.
AJ's writing, AJ's scribbling. Here we go. He's gonna pull up the
Like,
phone.
see, oh, there it is.
Like a star.
Star and then a J.
Yeah,
Star and a J connected. I used to do that.
I think that's fun. I don't know. I definitely like sometimes when I want to be an asshole, I'll do the curly Q L. Um,
Mm.
I love writing a J sometimes with the like squiggle and like or across there where it's like J, and then sometimes I'll leave it without the cross on the top. I feel like an X is very fun to write, where you like yeah. So there's like certain letters where you want to be like an asshole with your
An
penmanship.
asshole with your penmanship.
Hashtag of the episode. Um, anyway, so Linguini finds out that he's a son, calls his lawyer, asks for DNA samples, and then the lawyer's like, "This is Gusto's hat." Pulls the hat. Um, Gusto, granted, he's a figment of Remy's imagination, but he's like such a deadbeat. He's like spreading his seed out there in the streets of Paris and doesn't even know he has a son.
Okay, with that being said, I think that's fair. I think Gusto would have been a bad dad. I think if he knew he had a son, he would not have wanted him. Like based on what?
Based on what you know, granted, we know of Gusto is the fictional image that Remy concocts in his of the ghost, but like
You know?
he's married to his job. You know he's not
Yeah,
focused
yeah.
on raising a
So I
family.
think
He's not like Dana Carvey who would reject a role in this film to raise
I
a
agree.
family.
I agree.
Um, that said, comma but does he even look like Linguini? They say that
No.
he doesn't know, but we
Well,
don't
pause.
know.
It might just because Gusto's fat and Linguini's like not. Like
I would need to look at the shape of their face, but it's also like I think there might be some similarity. We also don't know what Linguini's mom looks like.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, he might just get a lot of
I bet
constriction with
Linguini's mom
mama.
is a baddie.
Um,
I'm just saying things.
listen, that's why I do half the time on podcasts.
Yeah. Um, again, there's not a ton of people in this movie in terms of humans, and they all kind of just are blobs in the background. Like
There's
this is
just
where,
blobs in the
yeah,
background.
they're like NPCs for the most part. Colette tells Linguini a couple things. So first, we're gonna get into like kitchen rules. Time is important because Linguini's
Yes.
going very slow, cutting his vegetable, and Colette's like, no, 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 no. We go fast. Time is of the essence. You have to keep your station clear. You don't keep dirty dishes. You put them in the sink.
Yes.
Sleeves clean. You don't put your elbows there. The apron can be messy. The sleeves clean, always. You follow the
Yes.
recipe, and we follow Gusto's recipe. No improvisation. No
I like all these
improvisation.
rules.
You need to listen to the sound of the crackle. It's a symphony for the bread.
She lost me.
No, I don't actually listen to the bread, but like I love the sound of like a fresh baguette in the
I
oven
will say
cracking.
this. My favorite part of the grocery store is the bread aisle. I think I said this before. I just love smelling it. It's such a beautiful scent.
I love lots of different sections of the grocery store, but like the bread aisle is a banger. Like the sushi aisle
Mm.
or the like fish aisle. I don't know. I like the smell of that for whatever reason.
I only got
AJ
sushi
thinks I'm
recently.
crazy. Oh, is it a place that you like, or is it
It's a place I like.
the only
I'm scared
place
to
you
try it
eat
somewhere else.
sushi? Yeah,
I'm scared to try it somewhere else. I
I
feel
get
like
it.
I don't want to ruin
Valid.
it.
Do you like poke bowls?
Yes.
Okay, that's basically sushi. But do you get like raw fish, or do you get like
But
other stuff?
again, that was a newest discovery of me. Mine.
Valid. Um, but yeah, so then you also have to bribe the growers who go to the grocery store because the best restaurant gets the one who bribes them the most,
Bribe me
unless
to
you
a
want to be
goal.
the first one at the farmer's market. Do you go to the farmer's market? Are you a farmer's market boy?
No.
I like a lot of people love the farmer's market. It doesn't do it for me, but I also don't eat vegetables. I don't know how to make vegetables. I need to learn. That is like something for my adult self that I would like to learn. But like when I get frozen broccoli, I just like put it in the steamer and I just steam and it's not that good. It's just like tastes very rubbery, but it like is broccoli, so I'm like I'm eating it. I'm eating
I
my
think that's fair.
vegetables.
I think that's fair. I don't think I cook enough for fresh
Yeah,
vegetables.
I want to get better at cooking like meals. I cook like boy dinner, like mac and cheese box, frozen pizza,
Like I think that's the thing. Like I like stuff I cook is you would not often see vegetables in it.
and I
Like
need to get
I
better.
might a
Like a
side of
tomato, I might
broccoli.
do, but that's it.
Tomatoes doesn't count.
You don't like tomatoes though, right?
I love tomatoes.
No, who was I talking to that hates tomatoes? Is it Nicole? Someone I was talking to recently. I know Will hates bananas, but that's his fault because he made a ketchup and banana sandwich when he was 5.
That sounds like something I would have done when I was 5.
Well, he couldn't reach the peanut butter, so he's like, I'm gonna make it with ketchup instead. And then he can never eat a banana again.
Yeah, that's a Will problem. That's a Will issue. That's a Will.
Then we get into the backstory of the kitchen staff. Do you have a favorite of these? I'll tell
Uh,
you all of them, but like I'll let you tell
favorite
me.
backstory?
Yeah,
Again, I like the guy where it's like, oh, he changed everything.
yeah. So this is
I also
Horst.
like the guy who was like, yeah, he was for the revolution. We don't know which one because apparently they lost.
Yeah, so we get 4 backstories. We get Lalo, who I forget what role in the kitchen is, but he's the only diverse
The
chef.
black guy.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's another one who's like white passing, but there could be another diverse chef. But there was one black guy in the kitchen, Lalo, and he ran away at 12, and he was fired from the circus that he ran away to because he was having relations with the ringmaster's daughter. And I was like, if it's
Ooh,
PT Flea, he deserves to be upset.
yeah, that's the animal. What are we doing?
Um, no, no, no. But also, like, if PT Flea was the ringmaster, he's a shitty ringmaster, so he doesn't deserve happiness.
Fair enough.
Um, Horst, which is Will Arnett's character, the blonde German guy, he was in jail. Nobody knows why. He has multiple stories, like where he ran financial schemes. He killed the guy with this thumb.
Mm.
There's Pompidou, which I love saying. Pompidou is such a fun name.
Ooh.
He's banned from casinos, both in Vegas and Monte Carlo. And then LaRue, he ran gun for the Resistance, and they're like, which one? I don't know, but they lost.
You cut out for a second there.
Yeah, LaRue, he ran gun for the resistance, but Linguini's like, which one? And he's like, I don't know, but they lost. That's why
Mm.
he's here.
Fair
Um,
enough.
but chefs are not just chefs are not just cooks, they're artists, they're pirates. And I was like, that's cool. Like,
That's cool.
podcasters are pirates too.
Uh, some of them do be
We're
hard.
stealing your time from listening to music.
And pause. And I think we this is a valuable use of your time versus music.
I agree. Like, music is good in like social settings.
Group
There is a
settings.
time for music. What, did you say during sex?
A podcast? God no.
No, music.
Says yeah.
I don't know if that's what you said, but that's what
That's
I
not what I
heard.
said, but I agree.
I think the internet kind of. I do have a friend. Shout out to Lauren, who at one time was having times with a lady friend, and they were listening to a Spotify playlist, and the Wiggle Room started playing the podcast.
A pot. A wiggle room. Like the
It's like
Wiggles?
Josh wiggle 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 wiggler, like the
Oh,
Wandoff, the Wandoff. Sorry,
I don't know why I thought the Wiggles. I was like,
the
whoa.
Wiggles. I mean, listen, fruit salad, yummy yummy, could be
I
about something
mean,
else.
you know what? It
Just don't
is.
ask Yash. Um, so yeah, customers want something new from Linguini. And they're like, okay, well, we've had everything on the menu. Let's do sweetbread Augusto. And Linguini's like, I'm gonna improvise. And Colette's like, no, because Remy's in the hat telling him what to do. And then Colette's about to like eye him down, and be like, don't you dare, don't you dare. And then he spills the saucepan on top of the thing and changes the
Mhm.
order. And they bring it out and they're all upset. And Skinner is like, what the hell is this? And it's Linguini's order. Ah, Linguini's order. He sees the rat again. And in the light from the hat,
Mhm.
Linguini's like, okay, good job, little chef. He gives him a drink, gives him some snack and cheese. And then he goes back
Mhm.
inside, no rat. And Skinner's like, oh, sorry. Hello. But that's probably where he gets his DNA, right? We don't actually see him pull the DNA.
Probably.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Skinner, again, getting gaslight to hell.
Gaslit, left fire center. I'll be honest with you.
So Remy's eating on the street, and at this point we start cross-cutting between two scenes. Skinner's like, "Let's have a drink, Linguini," and he's like, "Oh, we're not gonna have this cheap wine. We're gonna have this nice 1961 wine." And he's like pouring, and he's like, "Do you ever have a pet? Do you like cows and pigs, guinea pigs, rats, rodents?" And he's like, "No, what's Ratatouille? What can we talk about it? Why is it called that? It sounds like rat patootie." And I did remember this scene as a kid.
That was fun.
Yeah, and then he's getting super drunk, and then
Me
Skinner's
as a
like,
kid not realizing getting drunk.
"Yeah, same." I was
It's
like,
like-
"Oh, this is
and then I was
like
like, oh, he's gone.
this is for the parents." Like, do you think Skinner had any wine, or did he just down a bottle of red?
He's a lightweight.
No, but did Linguini have the whole bottle? Because that
Linguini,
hangover must have been nasty.
I think all but one cup.
Yeah, because wine hangovers are notably like worse than a lot of different types of hangovers,
You know,
because of like the sugar, I guess. I don't
this
know. I'm
way.
not a scientist.
I
Um,
believe it.
but yeah, like he must be super hungover the next day. No wonder. Like, and she slaps him in the face. Ah, just
Well, he was being rude to her. She was trying
he
to
was
kill
being
it.
rude, but like, yeah, that
Not
head is
not
gonna be
not on
pounded.
purpose.
The
He
way
didn't know he was
that
being rude.
I would not have run after her, I would be like, oh my head, like, and then I would call her and text her. But yeah, so as we're cross-cutting with this scene, we're also seeing that Emil is back in the picture because he finds Remy, he hugs him, and he's eating garbage. And Remy's like, no, 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 no brother of mine's gonna eat this trash. He sneaks into the kitchen. Gusto's like, why are you stealing? And again, a thief. Remy the rat? No, Remy the thief. Um, and he steals and he's like, okay, mix it. And Emil's like, interesting. I just like it.
He like
He's just like
literally.
vibing out. He's like, you kind of lost me, but I love this food. I love food.
Listen. I'm happy you're
Yeah,
happy.
and
I
like
just
he
want
has
to
on
eat.
ego, I love food. So it's just like, yeah, he's very much like, I'm happy you're happy. Like, that's good brother vibes. Like, shout out to Emil.
Emil's good.
Is Emil the older brother and Remy's the younger brother?
Emil feels like a younger brother.
I feel like Emil's the older brother. Like, I don't know, and Remy's like the overachieving younger brother. But because at one point one of them says little brother, but I don't remember who says it to who.
No clue.
I feel like settle this in the comments. Is Emil the older or the younger? Get back to
I like
us.
how you said that. Settle it when we could just Google it.
Okay, you Google this while I look at my notes for what else is important in the scene. Oh yeah, Emil brings Remy to the call and he's like, I can visit. Any updates?
Emil is the older brother.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
right.
I'm like, okay, maybe it's like because I see myself as Emil and I'm like, my brother could be Remy.
Yeah, he calls Remy little brother.
Yeah. So they go to the colony and they're all living somewhere fancy and they have jazz. You like jazz? That's
I
season
love
two.
jazz.
The B movie, season two.
Yes.
But then Django's like, "What do you mean you're just coming to visit?" And then he's like, "We're going on a trip in our little rocket ship, and we're gonna go look at this rat poison
Yep.
store in the rain." And he's like,
Yep.
you want to be a human boy? This is what happens when rats interfere with the human world. These are the rats who got a little too close to the kitchen. And then this is where we get like kind of what I felt like was the theme of the movie: change is nature, because he's like, you're trying to change the course of nature. We're not birds, because Remy's like, birds leave the nest, and he's like, we're not birds, we're rats. And I was like, that's funny. That was a chuckle moment for me. So yeah, so this is where they split off. Remy goes on his little adventure, and then he's walking back, and he like waves at a dude, and the dude crashes his bike into a car. He's like, what the hell is happening here? And I would be
That's
like, same dude. Like a rat is walking on his 2 feet waving at me, and he's like, not just waving, he's like doing the like, what's the finger guns.
I would not have been okay, Felipe. I would not have been okay.
Do you think so? This is a conversation I've had, and maybe this is not relevant to the plot of this movie, but are finger guns canonically bisexual?
Our finger guns bisexual.
Yeah.
Like the action of doing
Like,
it.
is finger guns an aesthetic of bisexual identity?
Let me think. Finger guns.
You can think about it, and we don't have to respond to the podcast, but
Okay.
you can respond to the next one if you think about it. But like noodle on
Okay.
that.
Noodle.
It's for the listeners as well. That is a conversation. Second time I'm mentioning Kate on this podcast, but Kate and I have discussed in the past.
That's a
Uh,
wild thing for y'all to just have discussed in the past. I want to hear the
yeah.
intro to that conversation.
Yes, I mean you can join whenever. Come visit us in LA, and we'll go to salsa and beer with Kate. She loves
Okay.
the taquitos there. Um,
Interesting.
uh, yeah. Anything you want to talk about with like the overall themes of the movie with the scene with Django and Remy?
With the scene with Django and Remy, it's like here's her like it's so weird because I am, and maybe this is just because of my background. I'm always a person that says we gotta put safety first. Like, understand where you are, where your surroundings are. Like, are you in a safe environment? Are you in a safe city? Are you in a safe place? Like, and like in that case scenario, it's like I'm on the death side. Like these are people that are trying to kill you, and like I get it. The one human you happen to meet was not so bad. They have a store where they're hanging literal rats. Like you're,
Yeah.
like they have a section where it's just let me kill rats, and it's like I get that. Like and like that's the literal sense,
Mhm.
and the metaphorical theme sense of the movie. I agree more, Remy. Like um break out of your shell. We should like progress is a good thing, change is a good thing. Like we shouldn't strive to be stagnant in life. Like I get that and I'm on his side when it comes to like the metaphorical sense.
Mhm. Yeah. I sorry, this is a quick tangent. Did you ever have to dissect a rat or
No.
any animals?
No.
In ninth grade, shout out to Lucia. I don't know where she is these days, but we were paired up in bio class, and I was like, I am not touching this rat. You are doing it all. This is disgusting. And the rat was pregnant with 9 babies, so we were
Oh my
dissecting a
gosh.
pregnant rat with all the babies, and I was like, I don't like this. Well, I say we. She was doing it, and I was just, you know, do you remember that line in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody where it's like, "You clean, I'll supervise"? That was me. um. Shout out to Mary and Matt if you're
Woo.
listening. Let's go to the kitchen in the morning. Linguini is hungover, sleeping in a mop bucket. And Remy's like, let's go. He wakes him up. Not really, though. He's just playing with his hair. Like, he's controlling him like a zombie. Like, he's voodooing his hair. I'm just like pulling
He's
imaginary hair on
voodooing.
my head. This is some dark magic. Like, and then Colette arrives on her motorcycle, which badass. I love a motorcycle rider. I would never do it. It's scary, but shout out to the motorcycles. Did we ever see a motorcycle in the Cars universe, you think?
Maybe in three.
Maybe. Okay. But yeah. She arrives and Colette is talking about different things and she's like um talking and he's not listening and he's being rude and then she starts snoring and she slaps him in the face. He wakes up and she's like, I can't believe I trusted you. I believed in you. You're being so rude. And he starts talking crazy. He's like, it's not me. It's, you know, it's I have a little chef in my up here, and she's like, in your brain, in your head, and she's like, no, I have a rash. And he has a rash, and then he's like being crazy, he's about to reveal. She grabs her pepper spray from her bag and has it behind her, and then Remy's just like boom, and they make out. We get this orchestral swoop, and I'm like, I I appreciate this plot wise, but I also didn't need a romance story in this movie. I feel like I like it when movies don't force their only male and female dynamic to become a romance one. Which like it didn't really take me out of this movie, but I feel like that is a common trope that I see in a lot of modern films, and I'm like, we don't need them to become a romantic item. I'm comfortable with like platonic friends being the the core dynamic.
Like, here's my thing. And I agree with you. I don't need romance in my movies. When I like, and I think this is like similar to what I said about All Flats movie. Like, this doesn't feel earned based on what I know of Colette as a character. Like, I have not seen like the growth between the characters where it's like, okay, Colette is actually catching feelings for this guy, or
Yeah.
would be okay with this. And like, honestly, if I view this as a, oh, this is a, I guess they had to make it happen because otherwise this would just be a very creepy scene.
Yeah. I think
But yeah.
I think for me like it makes sense only to serve the plot, right? Like cuz it's more about like Remy and like how we get to the next beat of the movie. And like it's not unrealistic. There's kind of an opposite track sort of like quality that they have. Like Colette's this very strong independent cook. Linguini's a bumbling buffoon. I do feel like that is a thing that we see in tropes of romantic pairing. It's like the strong independent woman who falls for the goober. But I also feel like it doesn't overall make sense for what the reality of the situation is. That
Mm.
said, to serve the purposes of the plot, I'm not too frustrated by it. Like it doesn't grind my gears that much. It is just something that I noted that it's like the one woman character of the movie all of a sudden becomes like a love interest when that wasn't really defined in the text previously. Like if we had
Mm.
seen scenes where he's like, "Oh my God, she's pretty" or whatever,
Yeah.
like it wasn't even
Well,
set
pause.
up.
Okay, I think we've seen scenes of him like fawning over her, like
I felt like that
silently.
all came afterwards, but maybe I'm
But I don't
wrong.
see scenes of her like
True, yeah.
showing any interest of him.
Yeah, but maybe he's just like a master of the tongue. Sorry.
Listen,
They
listen,
be
listen,
French
listen.
kissing in France.
If listen, if you got it, use it.
Yeah. She wants a piece of that linguine.
Let's sing.
This is when we get to Ego. We see Ego for the first time in like an hour
Ego.
at this point. Anton Ego, which is like crazy that they made him look like a vulture. But his assistant comes in. He's like, "Have you heard about Gusto?" He's like, "Gusto's? Yeah, I haven't talked about that guy since 2 years ago. The guy's been dead for so long." And he's like, "No, but it's popular." He's like, "Popular?" After my review, I said that he reminds me of another chef. Then he should go away like that Chef Boyardee. And I was like, that's like the one pop culture reference they have in this movie.
I,
Besides like
it,
Now Voyager, maybe.
and I loved it. The Chef Boyardee was a fun
Was that a
joke.
chuckle for you?
It was a
Was that
chuckle.
the best joke of the movie?
No.
No. Which was? Have we gotten it yet?
We probably already passed it.
Yeah. Feel free to look for it in your notes if you have it. But
Okay.
this is when we find out that the Linguini DNA matches. Skinner starts losing his mind. The DNA also includes the rodent hair. The DNA guy, he's like, yeah, there was rodent hair. And the guy's just popping off about rats, and he's like, yeah, there was rodent hair. And like, he's making it worse for this man.
He is making it worse
What
for
a
this man.
foul lawyer. Don't you ever make my anxieties worse.
He says, and I quote, "I feel like I should be worried about you." like,
Is this when the lawyer 5150s him?
like I just think I get it. Like this man's going on and on about a rat and about a rat. Yeah, here's my thing though. Here's my one thing. I low key feel like this is the biggest gaslighting moment because then he was like, "Oh yeah, but when I did get the DNA test, or this might have been in that later scene, there was rat hair in
No,
it."
no, he literally said there's like rodent hair, and he's like,
So this feels very gaslighting. Like this man clearly saw a rat.
this is our defensive Skinner. Like he deserves better for this film.
I think he does. We'll
Yeah,
pause.
until he doesn't.
Mostly. Like up like if you take out the fact that he read the woman's letter and got well, pause. The moment he found out he was his son, then I'm like, okay, you gotta let him know that
Yeah.
according to this will. Well, pause. He might not be the testator or the executor of the will. So it might not be his job to do it, but he should let the executor at least know.
Well, there's also like the time crunch, which they elaborate. There's like you can't do anything for 3 days. Don't really and find him, but then
Yeah,
you
but
can
I
fire
think
him after. But then,
I,
like, of
I
course,
think
the
by
next
him
scene.
not telling, giving him notice of it, I think that clause is like void
Yeah,
because like he never gave Skinner proper notice of the clause of the will to be
yeah,
able to accept it.
exactly. Yeah. So, but for the time being, they're just trying to stall. And
Stall,
then
stall, stall.
Colette and Linguini go right around on her motorcycle. Remy falls out of the hat. And he starts going around, and the humans start getting scared of Remy, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm a rat." But then he ends up back at the restaurant, and Emile finds him, and he has all his friends there. And Remy's like, "What the heck, man? I said don't do this," but of course he does. And then so Remy goes into Gusteau's office because the
Hmm.
kitchen storage is locked.
Hmm.
And so he goes into the Gusteau's office, finds the key, but also finds Gusteau's will, finds out that Linguini is the son, and he
Yep.
grabs it right as Skinner arrives, and he goes bolting out of there. And this is where we got possibly the best scene of the movie, where Skinner trails him on the motorcycle, and Remy's like running around the
Hmm.
streets of Paris, and Skinner like falls a lot. That man probably got a ton of injuries. Then Remy loses the pink paper. He jumps into the tree to catch it, catches it, jumps onto the boat, onto another boat. Skinner keeps hopping on the boats with him, and then he flies, yeets himself into the third boat, but Skinner falls into the water.
Yeah.
Um, by the time Skinner gets back to the office, Colette and Linguini have the papers, and Linguini's like, "This is my office now," or Colette says that actually. But is that the best scene of the movie for you? Because I think it might be
Um,
for me.
the best scene, I guess, I
I think it's either that or
guess,
like the Anton ego trying the Ratatouille at the end stuff.
like
But
that's what I'm thinking. I was like, I like that scene too. That was
I
a good
feel
scene.
like that's probably like the most important scene, but this might be the most fun scene.
The most fun scene, I can give this the most fun scene.
Cool, cool. And the music
Yeah.
is also great in that scene too. Linguini takes over. Skinner is fired. They have a scene where he gets tossed out of the restaurant by Horst with the thumb. There's more rat scaling. This is kind of like a montage, and then we get to the press conference where Remy is being a menace because Ego is not Ego. Linguini is also being a clown, and Remy's being a menace. And he's like, "You're not the only one who can cook. You have to give Colette credit too."
It's like, no, no, no. That was not what the scene was about,
I
Felipe.
know, but no, but Linguini literally says like other people in this restaurant are talented. Colette is talented too. You're not the only one with talent, little chef.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you were saying that's what
after.
Remy was doing to
But Remy was
Linguini.
being a menace also because Linguini was being a goober, but like Remy was also like hitting him in the face with a saucepan.
Linguini was being normal. Like Linguini was not acting like any way strange at all.
Yeah.
Linguini's just like taking picture and answer these people questions about his claim to rise to fame. And Remy knows and he knows like this is not his, but they both know he gotta fake it till we make it. Like Felipe, let me tell you something. Remy knows damn well that he cannot be exposed that he's a rat, but this that the rat is controlling all this because that would be good for nobody. And
Mhm.
yet Remy's still being rude and disrespectful because he's not getting the praise he wants. Like he knows he can't get the praise he wants. If he wanted the praise the once, he would have shown Colette that he was the one controlling Linguini instead of trying to hide it and make him kiss her. Like he spends all the movie trying to hide himself and then wants all the fame. You know you can't have the fame. Like stop at like listen, do you deserve it? Sure. But stop pretending like Linguini's doing something apparently wrong. Like what are you supposed to do? I would like to thank the rat. Shout out to the rat
Yeah,
Get
he's
out of here.
yeah. No, Remy's being a diva at this point. This is where Remy's diva arc starts. Um,
I thought he'd been a diva, but that's just me.
True, but like this
But
really
but I made it
escalates
clear
at
at
this
the
time.
start. I made it clear at the start of the movie. I
Yeah.
found Remy very unlikable this entire movie.
Skinner, meanwhile, calls the health inspector, says they have a rat infestation. He's like, okay, I'll put you on the books for 3 months. And he's like, 3 months? And he's like, oh,
That
come
was
visit
wild.
earlier. And I'm like, if there's a rat infestation, I want that restaurant shut down now.
Now, now,
But it's
people
also
eat
like
that
I get
food.
it because I tried to make a doctor's appointment in 3 months, and I was like, 3 months? What if I'm dying?
There's a reason why they shut down kitchens because there's a rat infestation. It
Mhm.
is a danger to people's health, people who go there. It is a danger to the public as a whole,
Mhm.
and you should not hold off danger to the public as a whole. That's my
Yeah,
5 cents.
I'm with you here. AJ's making good
Since they
points.
got rid of the penny.
Meanwhile, Ego arrives at the press conference, says, I'm going to be here tomorrow night. You've been playing a game without an opponent. And then Linguini's like, you're so skinny. And he's like, yes. He's like, do you even like food? You're so skinny. He's like, I don't like food. I love it. And if I don't love it, I don't eat it. And I was like, clock, clock him.
I would say that was my favorite line in the
Yeah.
movie when he was like, "You're slow for someone in the fast lane." I was like, "Ooh."
No,
I
that's
was like,
Lightning
"Ooh."
McQueen.
I was like, "Ooh."
Someone should have said it to Lightning in the last movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Skinner finds out the rat is the cook. He's like, the rat is the cook because Linguini's having a conversation with him. Like, little chef, you're being bad. And he
Mhm.
takes him out of the house. He's like, time out in the alleyway. And then he's like, the rat is the cook.
Nope.
So Remy's like pissed at Linguini. So he's like, you know what, Rat Colony, let's steal it up. And they're all sneaking into the kitchen late at night. And then Linguini goes back home. He's like, oh, Remy's not here. Let me go apologize. Maybe he's in the kitchen. So he starts apologizing to Little Chef. And then Emil, the gluttonous clown that he is, starts eating a grape. And as Linguini's apologizing, he eats more and more grapes. And then he's trying to get the last grape. He's like, and then he falls and he like lands on his stomach. And all the grapes pop out of his mouth machine gun style, hit Linguini in the neck. And then he's like, what the hell was that? He turns on the lights. There's so many rats in the kitchen. And he's like,
Yeah.
how dare you? You're stealing. I said, no stealing. He's like, you and your rats be gone. Like, I'm going to treat you like all the other rats should be treated.
Yeah.
This is where then the next day begins. Linguini gives a speech, and Emil is like, Remy's like, I'm not hungry, so he goes away, and then he sees Emil in the garbage the next day, and Emil's like, wait, let's go over here, and Remy's like, no, look out, because he sees there's going to be a trap there. He
Yeah.
gets trapped in the rat trap, and again we get like some cross-cutting. Ego arrives. Skinner wants Ego to have the same meal as him. So he says whatever he has, and the waiter's being mad dumb because it's like, I want something with a little perspective. He's like, perspective, and he's like, what do you want to eat? And he's like, I want perspective. Okay, I'll provide the perspective. You get me some wine. He's like, but your dinner, sir. And I wanted to kick the waiter. I'm like, how are you so stupid? He's saying,
Okay.
give whatever the chef wants.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When he asked for wine, I was like, "Just give him the wine." Before then, when he was saying perspective, I was like, "What the fuck is perspective?"
Yeah.
Like you're being abstract for
He's
no good
speaking in
reason.
riddles for sure, but like the waiter
Yes.
after he says, "Get me the wine," he's like, "But your dinner." He's like, "Give me whatever the chef wants," and he's like, "But your meal," and he's like, "Shut up, waiter, go."
Yes, yes, yeah. Like once he was being blatant to him, I was like, "This is being why are you being blatantly obtuse?" But before then, when he was talking to Riddles, it's like, stop acting like you got some aura. You don't.
So Skinner's gonna have put Remy in the trunk, and he's having his like breakthrough with Gusteau as a ghost. And he's like, "I'm talking to a figment of my imagination," and he's like, "Exactly, I'm a figment of your imagination. You already know what you are." And like Emil, shout out to Emil for pushing the gargoyle off into the car with
Mhm.
his dad and breaking the trunk open and popping the rat trap. And then Remy scurries off, and he's like, "I'm a cook." Um, Also, Skinner's wild because they obviously can be like, "Who's this short little chef that's like sneaking around in a trench coat?" Like he's being so obvious at the same time, and nobody's catching him.
You know, you say that. Can we talk about how wild it is? They did like property damage to that man's car.
I mean, the rats.
Huh?
The rats, yeah, but like they also, to be fair, they're trying to kill him. His son. Your son
Who?
Bango? No, sorry. The Skinner's trying to.
He said he won't kill him.
Well, Emil wasn't there for that. He just knows that his brother's stuck in the trap.
Sure.
Your son Chico. How would Dory do in this world?
Bad. She would be
Bad.
eaten.
True. Um. Skinner wants the same as whatever Ego's having. he has the breakthrough, and then Linguini starts crashing out in the kitchen. They're like, remember the recipe? And he's like, no, I don't remember the recipe. Why doesn't he just want something from there? And the chefs try to kill Remy as he appears, and Linguini saves him. And is like, okay, he confesses everything, and then all Horst is like giving his apron. They all start leaving, and then even Colette, who's crying and like leaves and like is about to slap him, but she's so heartbroken and sad she can't. And AJ has thoughts.
Good. I'm
AJ's
so
like,
happy.
I'm so
Yeah.
on Team Horst here.
Yep. You like you saw everyone was thinking. Horst did not think about it. He's like, nah, I ain't working in no kitchen where there's rats that's
Yeah.
cooking the food. He's like, I'm gone. This
Yeah.
is sinking ship.
He's
This is
like,
not okay.
this guy is not okay. He's listening
This
to
is
a
not
rap.
okay. He's
Yeah.
defending a rat that needs to be dead.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, yes, please. Let me tell you something. If they stayed, I would have lost my mind, Felipe.
No, I do like the realism there. And then so Linguini's sad. He goes to the Gusteau office. Colette is biking away on her bike, and she sees in the window anyone can cook by Gusteau. And Django sees that Linguini was nice to Remy. He's like, you know what? That human was nice to you. So I'm gonna step up. You're my son. Tell me what you need. And the health inspector shows up, and they see him on the picture, and they're like, first of all, go get him. And they tie him up and throw him in the
Why are we kidnapping
kitchen.
the health inspector?
They not only kidnap him, he's driving away and they go after his car, scoop him up from the car, tie him up, gag him, put him in the kitchen. While Remy and his other friends are cooking, and he has like Team 3, you're on sauce. Team 4, you're on fruits. Um,
This is insane,
and they're
Felipe.
going crazy. Linguini becomes a rollerblade raider. So he's the Colette returns. He's like, "What do you want to do cooking wise?" And Remy's like, "Ratatouille." And then she's like, "You want to make this peasant dish?"
I didn't know it was a peasant dish.
According to Colette, it's a peasant dish.
I don't know.
And then they make it, and Ego is delivered the food, and he tastes it, and we got a flashback to his childhood with his mom making vegetables, and he loves it. So he eats it,
Mhm.
he scarfs it down. He's like, "Give my compliments to the chef," and then he wants to speak to the chef, and Colette's like, "You can meet the chef if you stay when all the other guests have left." They also kidnap Skinner because Skinner goes into the kitchen, seeing the
Stop
ratatouille,
kidnapping people.
and they throw him in the closet as well.
We need to stop that. This is a bad trait to have if you're going to be a chef.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're rats, so
Stop kidnapping folks.
yeah. Um, they let them go later. We'll get to that. But Ego watches, and they explain everything with the rat. He asks a couple questions, and he thanks them for the meal, and he goes home. And then they read in the newspaper, and I'm gonna pull that up right now. So, anything you
Okay.
want to add about this?
Uh, no, but while you pull it up, I think it's why they said, but they let them go. Like, pretend just because you let go the person you kidnapped means you didn't kidnap them. You still kidnapped them, and that's still not okay. Like,
Right?
like, like that was wild.
All right. Are we ready for the quote?
Ready for the quote.
In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and their sleeves to our judgment. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to read. But the bitter truth we critics must face is that, in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designating it so. But there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is in the discovery and defense of the new. The world is often unkind to new talent, new creations. The new needs friends. Last night, I experienced something new, an extraordinary meal from a singularly unexpected source. To say that both the meal and its maker have challenged my preconceptions about fine cooking is a gross understatement. They have rocked me to my core. In the past, I have made no secret of my disdain for Chef Cousteau's famous motto, anyone can cook. But I realize that only now do I truly understand what he meant. Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. It is difficult to imagine more humble origins than those of the genius now cooking at Cousteau's, who is, in this critic's opinion, nothing less than the finest chef in France. I will be returning to Cousteau soon, hungry for more. I think that's an incredible quote. I love what he says about criticism as an industry, as a trade,
Mm,
as art in itself, and like the ease in which negative criticism can
hmm
amount for more, but like the risk it takes to invest in a new creative, as he even says. So like I don't know, this quote just really stuck with me as I was watching that, and I feel like it resonates with what I want to do professionally and what I think Brad Bird is saying in this piece and what Jan Pinkava was saying in his original draft of the script.
Mhm.
And like I think it's obviously paralleled to movie making through the lens of cuisine and cooking. And I don't know, I just really was invigorated and empowered by the statement, and I thought that is the crux of the movie and an incredible, incredible quote that stands 20 years later.
I get that. I agree. I think it is a good quote to state. I don't want this to be overrated where like criticism is bad though.
No.
Like
Oh, and I don't even think that's like Anton Ego is saying that. I think he says
that's not
criticism
what
is important. And
yeah.
I think criticism is important, especially like
Yes.
if something's bad, I feel like we should be able to stand 10 toes down and say something is not good. And I
Mm,
feel like you and I have done that in this podcast where we say that, I mean, in this series, we haven't really encountered anything that I would say is bad. Anything that we've encountered so far is like good to great. Um, but like we've definitely talked about projects in the past that are not great.
mhm,
We've definitely like discussed like reality show seasons that we both don't think are great.
mhm.
We're not afraid of criticism, and I think criticism is important. But I also think that like there is something like where it's scary to like take a chance and like put your reputation on the line for
It
something
is.
that not everyone might get because it is new, but you're willing to invest and like the word of mouth is important, especially when you are a revered critic. Like
Mhm.
if you have the power to give people a chance to shine, I think it is very brave and respect respectful respectable to invest in new art.
Like I think the big part for me is like to start with he was basically like it's easy to tear things down.
Mhm.
It's so easy to do that. Um but I think the value is when we are building up. And when we're building up, it's not that we're afraid to criticize. It's like even if there's like not, and I think here's what he needed to learn is that like even if it's not perfect at the start, uh, it's still value. There's still value in seeing it nurture and seeing it grows and see where it could go. And I think that that will be very valuable with some when it comes to critics. I think but I think we live in a society today. It's funny that this came out in 2006 because I think it became more rampant and more people views themselves as quote unquote critics that they just like to destroy, they like to belittle, they like to take down, and like that is a very um. I think that's bad for our society as a whole because it is disincentivizing people to take chances, to be creative, to take risks that others might not be able to or want to take because of the fear of the backlash or the hate that will come from it or the lack of support that one will have. And I think, yeah, I do like the quote. I think it's a good quote. I think it's something that's like, don't be afraid to try something new. And yeah,
I also appreciate the fact that in the core of the text, it's also like, don't be afraid to let your opinions change and like
yes.
be confronted with a new idea and embrace that of a past opinion and like have things reframe your thoughts. Like he
I
was
agree.
like, I didn't like Gusteau, and now I kind of identify with his motto.
Yeah, yeah. I also think more people need to considering that which when you say that, like he was like, hey, I didn't understand what this means, but now I understand what he meant when he was doing
Yeah,
it. I think more people need to be willing to say, yeah, I was wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, I honestly didn't. Because I think we also live in a society today where people that's like a bad thing to admit you're wrong. Or
mm,
like you would people will never admit they're wrong. And I think admitting you're wrong is like part of growth. And
yeah.
I think that's the one thing you can say a lot about ego. That man grew because it might have just been because of one meal, and that might have been an extreme reaction to one meal. But that man grew,
I agree, and his heart grew. I feel.
like just like the Grinch.
And I also feel like
The
he
Grinch will be
really is the
season
Grinch. I
19.
also feel like just when we go back to like Linguini was probably feeling lonely at the start of the film, I feel like Ego probably has a very lonely life. Like he is celebrated for being like a raw and real critic, but like he probably doesn't have a ton of friends because he like seems like he stows away writing and
Mhm.
he has this reputation for being like this evil critic, right? So like he probably doesn't isn't the most popular in his circles. Like he'll probably go to like these networking events and like people like don't talk to him or they fear him. He also has a bad attitude at times, which you
Yeah.
see with his assistant. But um, I think like the slice of home that we see where the meal hits him and reminds him of his childhood, I think is also part of it. It's right. Like you connect with the things that speak to you based on your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
whether it's food, whether it's art, whether it's movies. We've talked many times about like my connection to Finding Nemo and why I love it,
Mm-hmm.
and how it feels very personal to me. But I think that's something similar. It's like whatever hits in that childhood root, whether it's like trauma or nostalgia, I think is elevated, whether it's positive or negative, we'll see depending on what we're discussing. But
Mm-hmm.
I think there is something there in terms of like, oh, this has a connection to childhood and when life was the easiest.
Okay, I understand that for you.
Yeah. Well, it's also like depending on the situation. But yeah, I feel like
Sure.
that was, yeah. Um, this movie also, I don't know why. Ratatouille does kind of look like lasagna at times, but like more vegetable based. And I was like, I want a lasagna.
Oh, love lasagna.
You're like, call me Garfield and call me a
Like
cat.
I think at one point in time I would have said lasagna is my favorite food.
Lasagna is top tier, especially winter foods.
Mm.
Like lasagna and fondue are top tier winter foods.
Oh,
Fondue for two. Fondue for two. That's one hot dish. Fondue for two. Anyways, uh, so then Ego writes it, and then like they had to release Skinner and the health inspector. They couldn't keep them hostage, so like after they get the most incredible review ever, the restaurant gets shut down.
as it should have. As it
Yes,
should have.
AJ's like,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. Thank goodness.
So yeah, so they release Skinner, Gusteau's closed. The small business investment though, they make their own restaurant, a little bistro in France, with this new restaurant called La Ratatouille. Ego lost his credibility, but he's always at Ratatouille, and they're having a few. And then he's like, "What should you want for dessert?" And he's like, "Let the chef surprise me." And we get the La Ratatouille with the Eiffel Tower in the background, and the logo is a little rat with the chef hat,
Hmm.
which I'm like, if you saw the restaurant being closed for rats, and then this whole team goes and opens up this new restaurant,
I wouldn't
as
argue
a
it.
patron, I would not go there. But
Would never.
then you see the light of the le disappear, and it's just Ratatouille. And then we get
Ratatouille.
Finn, and we get the closing credit song, Le Festin. Um, yeah, that's our movie.
That's it. We're
That's
done.
our movie. I love the closing credits, the like little digital art. Like I like the little lollipop golf scene.
Mm.
But yeah, yeah. AJ, anything overall? Or should we just break into the segments right now?
Let's break into the segments.
Okay, cool. I'll give you the keys to the car at this point. Where do you want to start?
Um,
Just for a reminder for the audience, we got movie rankings where we give it a score. We got MVP, LVP, and comedy character. We got villains and we got song tiers.
let's start songs.
Songs. Okay, we got one song to add to the list, Le Festin. Would you like to go first or shall I?
You can go first.
All right, so uh just off the dome, I feel like this is more memorable. Like it's la 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 la. I don't know the lyrics because I don't speak the best French.
Hmm.
I can understand some French, but like the melody, I feel like I'll remember it more than like stuff in the D tier. So it's already above that. I think I'm gonna put this in C tier between If I Didn't Have You and Shaboom. So this is like in the C tier. I think the Monsters Inc. song is more memorable. Shaboom, like
Mm.
I can hear it in my head, but again, like we talked about on the Cars podcast, it doesn't resonate as a song from Cars to me. Like it does, just like as a song, even though Life is a Dream, it's like you can hear it, but I don't know. For whatever reason, this is more memorable as a Pixar song than Shaboom will be. What about you, AJ?
Can I do something before I rank Le Fistine?
Yes.
I would like to not be on the C into D tier.
Knock Beyond the Sea into the D tier. That is
Yes.
okay. Jose, okay. So Beyond the Sea is at the top of your tier.
Yes.
Cool, cool, cool.
And I'll put Le Fistine in C tier as well.
Okay, so that is your
Like right
new.
under Our Town.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yes.
So that is the adjustment. So
Because I think I
we,
agree with everything you said about Love Fistine. Like
yeah.
everything's
So we have it in the same spot. You're still mad at me about Woody's Roundup, which is
I'm
crazy.
not mad at you. I just find it
You just don't
interesting.
understand. I don't understand. But yeah, so this is gonna be where we made slight adjustments here. AJ has moved Beyond the Sea to the D tier, and we both put Le Festine in the C tier. So I have it under If I Didn't Have You over Shaboom, and AJ has it under Our Town, and then above the D tier, which starts with Beyond the Sea.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, where are we going next, AJ?
Let's do villains.
Villains. Okay, cool. So we got Chef Skinner and Anton Ego. Does that work for you?
I'm happy with those two being villains.
Okay, who do you want to start with?
Uh, I want to start with. Ooh, this is hard. Let's start with Chef Skinner
Okay, yeah,
since
I
we
think
spent
he's
most of
gonna
the movie
be
with
easier
Chef.
for me.
Yeah.
So do you want to start with Chef Skinner or shall I?
I can start with Chef since you started with the
Okay.
music. I think Chef Skinner is a very interesting character because I think for most of the movies I was about to put him in F tier because I'm like, this man is just being gaslit. Like we talked about many times in the movie. He's being gaslit. There's literally a rat in his kitchen. He's just trying to get rid of the rats. With that being said, he did do some bad when he is trying to take over the restaurant from the rightful heir, which happens to be Linguini, which I think does put knock him up in a category into like he's literally a bad guy. Well, I won't say a bad guy, but he's literally doing bad things that you shouldn't
Hmm.
do. Um, like he reminds me a lot of Al, if I'm being honest with you. I
Yeah.
don't know if I have him right above or right under Al, but like that's what I'm looking at for Chef Skinner.
See, while you're considering, I'll give you time to think because I'm gonna put Chef Skinner in the B tier because he reminds me similarly to Al, but more so Sid is who I
Mm.
really get. Like a Sid and a Randall is kind of where I see it, where it's like inherently there's things like I disagree with this statement that I'm about to say more so with Randall. But like Randall technically is like doing things so that he can provide to his job and provide his
Mm.
sensibility to helping his company, even though he's doing shady things with like child distractions. But like with Sid, he's just like playing with toys. He's being a demon, but he is just playing with toys and being mean to the toys. He has no clue that they're sentient. And then they go crazy on him and he has to go to trauma therapy.
I can see
Skinner
that.
is also being gaslit to hell. There is a rat in his kitchen. He is being a little bit more evil than Sid because he's denying Linguini the rightful heir to his throne, to Gusto's throne, the
Mm.
restaurant. But like he's also being gaslit to hell. There's a rat in his kitchen. Everyone's
Yes.
making him sound like he's crazy when he's not. We don't know
Yeah.
what happens to him after. He got the restaurant closed, so I don't know. Like I think Skinner has some duplicity in him and makes him a better villain than Sid. I don't
Mm.
think he's to Randall's level though, so I'm gonna put him in B between Randall and Sid. That's where I stand. What about you, AJ? Have you given more thought to Chef Skinner?
I think so. I think here's my thing, right? I think this is hard because I thought about it. I was like, if I look at my C tiers, these are just people I just don't like. I just don't
Yeah.
like any of these people in C tier, except for Mirage. I do like Mirage, who's in my C tier. Uh, which makes me be like, I like him more than the people in C tier
Okay.
than I have in C tier because I think he's just a rational person being gaslit. I think I think he's I think he's underratedly funny. I think he's one of the funnier characters in there, maybe because of how exasperated he's been the entire time and exaggerated. Be like, I am not the crazy one.
He is not the crazy one. He's a little crazy, but not the crazy one.
The crazy one, right? Um, with that being said, I think he moves the plot forward more than I think the people in C tier does, if we're being honest. And I think you almost convinced me to put him in B tier, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna put him in C tier, and I'll put him above or below Mirage. I'll put him above Mirage.
Above Mirage. All right, so he's the top of your C's.
Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, now I went first for Shea Skinner. Let's go for Anton Eagle.
Anton Ego is a rude critic. This man just did his job. This
Yeah.
man's not a villain. This man is not a villain. He's an F tier with Darla.
Is he
Like
above Darla or below Darla?
he's above Darla because he's like actively mean, and I don't like. And Darla's just like a child. But at the end of the day, Anton Ego's like not really a villain.
I feel like throughout this podcast, we are coming up with like some core statements that we here will repeat throughout the podcast series. I feel like
Yes.
Darla as a child is going to be like one of the core arguments the podcast stands on. Um, I'm gonna go a little higher than Anton Ego. I think
Okay.
like he's an antagonist. Like technically you're making good points that he's just like doing his job, right? But I think because of like the weight and power that he
Mm,
has, I feel like he's kind of just like living his life and he's just kind of a background character that
mm,
is pushed to the front of villainhood because he is an obstacle to our main character's happiness and
mm.
success, right? Who does that remind me of? That reminds me of Al. So I'm gonna put him in C with Al, and it's just a matter of do I put him above or below Al? I think Al is more antagonistic than Anton. Ego
Hmm.
because he has his little redemption. And I love the quote, but I think it's not enough for me to. I think he's more in the like either like redemptive hero. He's kind of like a Mirage in that sense,
A
where he has a
Mirage.
little
Mhm.
redemption, but like technically, I think Mirage has done more foul things in her life than Anton Ego, but I think
She
Anton
has.
Ego is more memorable when I think of villains in the Pixar universe. He does like honestly in my head before the rewatch, I was like Ego is more of a villain than Skinner. I forgot
Same
Skinner.
here.
Yeah.
I thought he had
But
more of a
like
prominent role.
I think it's also like the way they animate him. He's like very like gloomy and like he has that mansion and the arch of his back and like he has the look of a vulture according to the animation. So I think he's just more memorable. And like when I think of Incredibles villains, I think of Syndrome, and then I'm like, oh, I guess Mirage is there too.
Mm.
She's like kind of like ancillary character. So I'm gonna put Anton Ego in C. Again, this is a disagreement between us. But I know you love Darla. Um, MVP, LVP.
Okay. Okay, let's go there.
Okay. Um, should I go first or shall you? Because I'm struggling with mine. Okay.
I
Um,
like I
I,
know who my MVP is going with, so I can go first.
okay, yeah, go first.
I'm giving it to Colette. Like I
Oh,
love Colette.
twins.
Yeah,
That's the one
Colette
I
is so
did
good.
have in advance. The one I was locked in on.
Like she's so fun. She's so good. I think she is like the hardest. I think she genuinely is the heart of this movie. If I'm being honest with you, like I think everything the movie wants to transcribe with Remy, it is
Mhm.
Colette. Full stop. We just didn't get to see her journey to get to where she is. But like she's worked so hard to
Yeah.
get there. She is such a strong moral character. Like even though she was like, listen, these rats cannot be in the kitchen, but like I can't just let them drown. Like I respect that so much. I almost gave it to what's his name? Django.
Linguini? Django.
No, I almost gave it to Django because especially him trying to protect his son, him trying to protect the colony, and then at the end coming through for his son, being like, "Listen, I was wrong, and you happen to be right." That's why I thought that was a good trait from him. But
Yeah,
I feel like Colette was like a lot stronger in this movie.
I think Django was probably the only other character I would like remotely consider.
Mm,
Colette was just like far and above. I like wrote down a couple names for some of the other categories. Colette is the only name I wrote down for Spotlight. Like it was clear for me. Like Colette is the heart of the movie. I know Brad Bird has gone on record as recently as June of 2026 saying he does not want to do a Ratatouille 2. There's a part of me that wonders is it because like this wasn't your original take like The Incredibles was versus like
mm,
this was Jam Pinkava's story that you became the director of. Like maybe he doesn't really know what he would explore with the sequel and
fair
doesn't want
enough.
to even like explore that because this world was not his original concept. That said, I know Patton Oswalt wants to make a sequel, and if there were a sequel, I would love to like explore more of like Colette, the way that like Incredibles 2 did so on Elastigirl, and
Hmm.
Finding Dory was about Dory. Like I would love to like use these sequels to explore either a new character like Anxiety and Inside Out 2, or
Hmm.
like a secondary or tertiary character that has more of a prominence. Like do you know anything about Toy Story 5?
No.
No, okay. Well, I won't say anything there,
Okay, fair enough.
and also it like kind of sucks that like all these examples I'm giving is like other women characters that become more of prominent in the sequels.
Mm,
But I do feel like a Colette inspired story would be like if they did a Ratatouille 2 or 2 to 2e.
to the two.
Rat to 2e. um
That's what they would do.
I think that's what they should look either at Colette or Emile. I feel like is where they should go next and I would rather watch a Colette story. Like, do you think Colette is Ratatouille, but instead of a rat, it's a bird this time?
Instead of a rat, it's a bird.
I'm crazy. All right. Where do you want to go next? You want to go comedy or PT?
I know where I'm going with my comedy. I'm not yet certain where I'm going with my PT.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go comedy first because if we have the same character, I'm gonna switch it on the fly. So let's go comedy first.
Well, you already brought him up. I give mine to Emil. I
Okay.
think Emil is a funny goober. I think he's like the goofy older brother who just like he just wants to eat. That's all that man wants to do.
Yeah.
He brings his family around. He's like, yo, they're hungry too. I'm sorry. I thought it was okay if I brought my friends. Sorry, you should let me know. Like he's just like a like whenever the movie. I think this is probably you can tell me I'm wrong. I think been the most serious Pixar movie so far.
I would say this or Incredibles, Birds,
That's
or
fair.
Finding Nemo. Also, honestly,
I
I
think it
think
had
the
a serious start, but it's
Incredibles.
been goofy the entire time.
Yeah.
But like I think whenever he came
Yeah, like
comes
we
in,
said, there's not a ton of comedy in this. Like, I feel like Cars and maybe it's also because we were a little older when these movies came out. So like, there is less comedy in these films to
mm,
me.
yes.
Emil was one of my top three though. Like, I had a list of three characters. Do you want to take a guess at the other two?
Of the other two that you had, um, listen, I know who would have been my second place, but I don't think you like that character.
Who?
Linguini.
Oh, I like Linguini, but he's not in my
Oh,
top three.
okay, fair enough, fair enough. Who's the other two? I don't know. Tell me.
All right. So on this list, I have Grandma with a gun because pulling out a shotgun for no reason is crazy. So Emil, Grandma with the gun, and then since you gave it to Emil, who I deeply identify with, I'm gonna give it to Skinner, who might be our first villain to get the comedy. But I find him chaotic and entertaining.
I did say he was low-key funny. I did
Yeah,
say he was underratedly funny. Yeah, I
like
agree.
he has a lot of Edna Mode energy,
He does.
but maybe that's just like heightest. But like yeah, I think they have like similar character models. If I had to guess,
I'm
I
happy with
even
this.
thought Brad Bird might have been the voice of Skinner before I did more research and found out it was the late great Ian Holmes. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Chef Skinner for this, and then you're gonna give it to Emil, who would have been my choice if you had given it to anyone else.
I think if I had you give it to Namil, I probably would have gave it to Skinner as out. So I think that I'm cool with this.
Yeah. We love that. We love that.
I'm so
All
okay
right,
with
all
this.
right. So, yeah, in terms of what's next, we got the PT Fleabag of Dust, your favorite award to give.
Like, here's my thing. I said I didn't know who I was doing it. Looking at this cast list, like it's clear to Estee to me, and I've been complaining about him since before we started recapping the movie. I gotta give it to Remy. I don't like that rat. I think that rat is very obnoxious. I think that rat is very stuck up. I think that rat is very elitist for someone who does not come from a lot. I think that rat is rude to Colette a lot. That rat is rude to Linguini. Like I'm like listen, let me tell you something, Remy. Colette's been doing this a lot longer than you have. Like she might have you
Yeah,
right.
he just shows up and he has natural talent, but like again, you can't just ride on natural talent. You're lucky you're a
Exactly.
rat where you don't have to like actually show up. But like, there's a reason Linguini got slapped on your behalf.
Exactly. So
I'm not gonna give it to Remy, but I support your reasons.
thank
It's also valid because like I gave Lightning McQueen one and you gave it to the Neon Street Racers, so it's like okay, your turn to give one to dunk on our main character. And with that said, I got three written down. I'm not gonna give it to the kitchen staff, but the kitchen staff were kind of like a blob of nobodies that I wish we had
you. A
more
bunch of
time.
blob and nobodies.
And they could have had more. We got their little backstories. Like if you have a character named Pompidou and you don't utilize him for comedy,
That's
like
fair.
you don't utilize them as more background. Like there's some scenes we could have had more comedy with them, but like they're also self-serious, right? And they're French, so there's not that also might be part of it. Like the French are not known for being funny, with all due respect.
I think that's fair.
So they're gonna be taken out. So I'm between um Emil's friends and the stupid waiter.
No, that waiter had you pressed.
The
That waiter
waiter did
had
have me impressed. Okay, because you said that, but like,
you.
I feel like Emil's friends also like they're like, and then they're giving Remy attitude when he's like, I don't want to steal. And he's like, do we have a situation here? And I'm like, hold up, this big ass rat who came out of nowhere. I have not seen him in any of the scenes prior, and he's giving Remy attitude when he's trying to give them free food. Go to the garbage. Go to the garbage. But because the waiter was so stupid, and I've been in a server, I've worked customer service. Like
Mm.
he says, give me something with perspective. Okay, I'll give you a pass on that. But then he says, give me the wine and give me whatever the chef wants to make. And you're like, but what do you want to eat? I'm like, get hit in the head with a brick. You're too stupid
Leave.
for me.
Leave.
Like, please go on. So the server, I think his name is Mustafa because it's the John Ratzenberger voice. Chef de salle. Yeah, that's the maitre d'. Okay, so Mustafa, server Mustafa. I'm gonna put or waiter Mustafa,
Waiter.
waiter. It's not Mufasa. It's Mustafa. Um, and then you said who'd you say again? Remy.
Remy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I support you on that.
Thank you.
Uh, so AJ gave it to Remy the Rat, and I gave it to Waiter Mustafa. But friends of Emil, you're on notice.
You're on notice. In the sequel, that's never coming.
Yeah. All right. So we got one more thing to do here today. We got our movie rankings just to
Whoop, whoop.
reset. Our current leader in the clubhouse is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo with a perfect one. Again, the lower the score, the better. Then we got a three-way tie for second with Incredibles, Toy Story, and Toy Story 2 all having 3 points. Monsters Inc. having 5, Bugs Life having 7, and Cars having 6. Ratatouille is our next stop here, and I know where I'm going to place it, but where are you placing it, Mr. AJ?
I don't know. Um,
Should I go first then?
yes, because I can talk through my thoughts.
Yeah, talk out loud.
Here's my thing about Ratatouille. I think this is like the least likely movie I'm going to revisit. I, you know what? Bugs Life, then this movie. No offense to Bugs Life, but like I genuinely think it is a genuinely better movie than Cars, and I think it is also a better movie than Monsters Inc. Like
Oh,
objectively,
okay.
um, it didn't, but it doesn't bring me enough joy to be like I would like to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's however you want
So
to make
so
your
so like
rankings.
maybe so like I think it makes sense like if I think it's better to split the baby in that case and put it between Cars and Monsters Inc. If that's how I feel, it's better, but it's less rewatchable.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
gonna give this a 6 out of 8 then, or
I'll
a
get to
5 out of 8?
six. I'll get to 6 out of 8 under Monsters
All right. Well, once again, AJ, we are simpatico here because I am moving
Inc.
Cars to my seventh spot and Bugs Life to my eight, but this is not higher for Monsters Inc. than me. If you think this is a better movie than Monsters Inc., I can support that. A wrong opinion. I think Monsters Inc. is a better movie, but I also know that this has a lot more love than Monsters Inc. does, especially with that young Gen Z chokehold that it has.
Mm,
I think this movie is more gorgeous than Monsters Inc., but I think
mhm,
Monsters Inc., I think it's funnier. I think the story feels more earned with Boo and Kitty and everything.
mhm,
And I don't know, like think I think this is good. I think this is in the same tier as Monsters Inc. theoretically. And then Cars and Bugs Life are in a lower tier, but it's like sandwiched between. I think I'd rather rewatch this than Cars,
mm,
but yeah, I don't know. I don't feel super moved by this movie in the way like I thought coming into this project, Ratatouille might be one of those surprisers that like hits one, and I was like, no, this is clearly like my childhood tier, as I call it. Besides Bugs Life, I think it's
mhm.
like stands sturdy here. So we are still in sync, and maybe next week we will have a shakeup, but for now we do not. And Ratatouille, we don't have a massive shakeup. We just have Cars and Bugs Life moving further down the list. Do you think there will ever be a movie we encounter that goes lower than Bugs Life?
Lower the Bugs Life, yes.
Cars 3? Cars 2 maybe for you?
I can see Cars 2, I can see Monsters University, I can see Cars 3, I can see The Good Dinosaur.
I've
Like,
never
pause.
seen Good Dinosaur or Cars 3, so I don't want to stand on business right now and when I don't know
You
what I'm
know,
talking about.
so like there are movies, based on the way you talk about Lightyear, I can see that happening.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Forgot about that one. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
so so I'm not gonna, I wouldn't be surprised if we end this thing and Buzz Life is not at the
Yeah.
bottom, but like for right now, it is.
Yeah. Final thoughts on Ratatouille or Rat Patootie, as you call it.
Navi, I can understand why you like this movie. I get it.
I think Navi loves the fact of the rat. If I had to like pinpoint, I think like Navi is a grand appreciator of the camp and the chaotic. And Remy the rat being in his hat is camp and chaotic. But we did want to have Navi on the podcast to discuss. At a later date, we will discuss Pixar with Navi, and we will hear all of Navi's takes on the Ratatouille. But you can go follow her on Letterboxd because I'm Navi if you want to see more. And she does have Ratatouille a 5 out of 5 ratings, and it explains further her reasons. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd, I think I'm at Brazilian Dragon. AJ, are you on the Letterboxd or no?
No.
No? Okay, not yet. Anyways, final thoughts on Ratatouille besides the shout to Navi?
Uh, I think this was a good movie. I think this was a perfectly fine movie. It's just not for me. And I think that's more than okay.
That's valid.
Uh, yeah. So I think glad I watched it. Glad we got to talk about it. I'm ready for Wally.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about Ratatouille, like to show it to my kids at one point. I think it is a slow build, like you talk about. Like the granny with the gun is memorable, but like that first, like kind of until we get to Gusteau's and like
Hmm.
get the intersection between Linguini and Remy, and like that is kind of where the movie picks up. I watched this in 2 sittings. Cars I watched in 3. I think that's also part of it, right? It's how many sittings you watch this in. Where I watched like the first 30 minutes of Ratatouille, and then also we had this podcast earlier than our traditional schedule, where we
Hmm.
usually have a week between at minimum. And then I got booked on background. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to watch this, so I watched this all in one sitting. So I had to do my homework, but I was like, oh, this movie actually kind of hits, and I kept enjoying it. And I think it like builds to a really incredible quote that we discussed with Anton Ego. I think there's some beautiful sequences. I love the scampering stuff where we get to see what
Hmm.
life is like as you said, like little small. I love the scene where Skinner chases Remy down the stairs. This movie does have some heart, but it doesn't have like that Pixar impact that puts you in a tears puddle.
Hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed this rewatch. It was great to revisit this film that I hadn't seen in almost 20 years in full. And I cannot wait to re-encounter Wally, which I have also only seen one time. My grandma got it at the video store in Brazil. It was a DVD, and I just remember I was watching it as a kid, and I was like, I don't get it. This movie's kind of boring and
I
slow.
don't get
And
it.
I know Wally is one of those movies that people put at the top of their Pixar rankings. I know it's also like kind of controversial when people do so because there is like a little bit of fat phobia that we're going to discuss, I'm
Yeah,
sure. And like, but it also feels more relevant than ever, like at this time, like just based on the themes on like Earth and environmental consciousness and the space race and like technology and AI. So I feel like there's a lot of things that we're going to discuss with Wally. I'm excited to revisit it. It has a killer Hello Dolly song in it. And Wally and Eve are both adorable. References to 2001: A Space Odyssey, and just like I'm excited to revisit it. I believe this is our first space opera that we're getting in the Pixar canon. It's not the last.
I
Toy
think so.
Story 2, we have the scene with Buzz at the start, but otherwise we really haven't had like much space travel. And yeah, and this is like a core entry into the Pixar universe theory because of like the lack of humans on
Mm.
Earth versus the Incredibles. So this is like how we can get some of the canon where we get the cars are brought to life, toys start coming to life, and that's key to like the canon of the Pixar universe theory. But what about you? Like, what are you looking forward to with Wally?
I think this is probably the slowest Pixar movie so far.
Yeah,
Wally will be. With that being said, it's funny because I said I fell asleep to Ratatouille. I love Wally. I love this movie. I love it so much. I love that little robot. I love Eve. I love their relationship. I love the cockroach. I love the cleaning machine. Like this is such a
you love
fun.
Otto
Is that his name? The cleaning
or
machine?
Hal or whatever the villain.
No.
No.
But I love that cleaning
Yeah.
machine.
Valid. I
Like
cannot wait to rewatch it because I only know like there's only like segments of my brain that like have certain scenes. Like I know there's the chubby guy that like zooms
yes.
around with them, and I'm like, that's me.
I think this is such a lovely movie in my humble opinion. I think I have such a nice I feel nice watching. I feel like a better person watching this movie.
Yeah, I want to see how it hits as an adult, and like I don't think it's gonna crack the top three of my Pixar rankings, but you know, never be surprised. And maybe this is one that like AJ and I have different levels. This might be our biggest like difference so far where I'm excited to find out and maybe it shakes up the rankings. I'm very excited about the like, specific like dance sequence that Eve and Wally have in the sky that like is beautiful. And this is another Andrew Stanton joint who was Finding Nemo. I believe this has the record for the most nominations for a Pixar movie for Oscars with six. It
I can
won
see it.
Best Animated Feature, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have a lot to discuss with Wally. I think the score is also very popular. So yeah, I'm excited to go from the sea to the space with Andrew Stanton. But yeah, anything else you want to add about that, or shall we start hopping on the train?
Let's hop on the train, Felipe.
All right, AJ, anything you want to plug before we do so?
Go to the go to the Free Agents Millennial TV podcast where me and Matt are talking about Drake and Josh. As you talked about earlier, Matt and Mary are talking about Sweet Life and Cody. It's a fun time over there. Besides
Yes,
that, nothing else for
yes.
right now.
And maybe you never know. He might be on an RHEP podcast talking about Big Brother at some point.
You know,
Yeah, you never know. But
who knows?
if you do, you'll hear about it here. But yeah, in terms of me, you can actually, first and foremost, go to Animation Station on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or whatever podcast you use. AJ and I would greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and a review. As AJ loves to say, you can dog him with 5, but don't praise him with 4. Um, Go to YouTube as well. You can subscribe to Brazilian Dragon Productions. We post all of our video episodes on there. AJ shows us how he wrote his name in this podcast episode, so you can go look at that, and you can interact with AJ and I on that channel as well. Like and subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends to tell your friends. In terms of financial support, we got a Patreon, we got a Substack, BrazilianDragon.substack.com. I'm going to be writing some pieces on there, just like sporadic thoughts about random things, some adventures I've had this year, maybe some thoughts on Pixar movies and other stuff I'm watching. And Patreon perks, we're going to get some podcasts up on that feed. AJ and I will talk about Pixar in there. Maybe that's where we put the Navi podcast. Who knows? Ari Ferrari and I still got the Brazilian Dragon games that we want to record. Just life got in the way. And then Slime Time Rewind is also another venture here at Brazilian Dragon Productions, talking about Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, stuff that you can find on the Millennial TV feed with Matt Lagori. You can also find over here, but I don't think Matt Lagori is going to be talking about Camp Rock 3. If he wants to join us, he's always welcome to talk about whatever shenanigans. But Nicole Horn and I are definitely going to talk about that. We're developing a DCOM draft in the near future. I would love to talk about Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, so maybe I'll do something there. But yeah, so Slimetime Rewind dot Blue Sky dot whatever they have is our Blue Sky handle. You can also follow the Brazilian Dragon on Instagram for all updates. I am producing a comedy show in September. Stay tuned for details of that for my friend Tangela. And otherwise, what did we say our hashtag was? Assholes and penmanship or something?
Something like that.
Well, you know, Ratatouille. Let's go watch TikTok the musical, Ratatouille. Yeah. But with all that said, everybody, we are going to be leaving Paris and heading over to space. So until next time, we are approaching the station. Obrigado for listening. Goodbye.